She walks it loud like a thunderstorm, debunking myths with style and form. True crime, conspiracies her game. Melissa Jade, remember her name. She's loud, feisty, spilling tea, diving deep into mystery, breaking down your wildest claims. Melissa Jade, she's got no shame. Microphone fierce like a roaring lion, unveiling secrets people been hiding. True crime queen of the digital scene, Melissa's got you hooked on her screen. She's loud, feisty, spilling tea, diving deep into mystery, breaking down your wildest claims. Melissa J, she's got no shame. Murders to cover-ups, nothing misses. Melissa's here to share her guesses. She's got theories big and bold, no stone unturned, no case cold. She's loud, feisty, spilling tea, diving deep into mystery, breaking down your wildest claims. Melissa J, she's got no shame. Melissa J, she's got no shame. Melissa J, she's got no shame. From murders to cover-ups, nothing misses. Melissa's here to share her guesses. She's got theories big and bold, no stone unturned, no case cold. She's loud, feisty, spilling tea, diving deep into mystery, breaking down your wildest claims. Melissa J, she's got no shame. 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 She's loud, feisty, spilling tea, diving deep into mystery, breaking down your wildest claims. Melissa J, she's got no shame.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Chapin.
Hey, Melissa. Hey, everybody.
Hello. Hi, Lil D. Thank you for 4 months. Thanks, MJ, for all you and making us laugh so much. Thank you, Little D. Thank you so much. I've missed you all. Hi, Linda, Harlot, Princess Scary, J13. We have Kimmy C, Bogart. We have Molly Henry, R Bubbles. We have Melissa B, Kelly. And I want to know, so there's that, Pointer Lover. I want to know what are mini taco salads that you could get from Taco Bell, because I've never heard of that. Have you ever heard of that? Hi, Fragile and Vicky.
No, I didn't know they had many taco salads.
Yeah, she said mini taco salad, yet she also said Taco Bell. Mini taco salads. What are those from Taco Bell?
Interesting.
Inquiring minds would like to know, because I don't know that to be a thing. Hi, Unsilent Bob. Good evening, Chapin. Looking forward to the show all weekend. Really love MJ and Cheese take on all the docs. Thank you.
Thank you. I would say I really love a good
I interrupted you again. Go ahead.
Sorry, maybe me. That's all. I said I really do enjoy a good taco salad.
Oh, hell yeah. You can make the walking taco, but you can make it with like a shit ton of lettuce, so it's technically a salad.
Are you talking about where you go to 7-Eleven and you get you make like the Frito chili bags?
No. What is that?
Yeah, it's like a Waco Fritos chili thing. So if you go to 7-Eleven, you pick whatever chips you want, and then you go over to like their like nacho cheese and chili and whatever station and onions, and you just pile all that shit up and grab a fork.
No. I see, Carter. No, I would never go. As soon as you say go to like the cheese and chili part of 7-Eleven, that's uncharted territory. I will not go. I meant like you open up like a Doritos bag or Fritos, you can, and then with your homemade like chopped beef, cheese, sour cream, salsa that shit up, olives, dollop daisies, onions, and then, but like instead of just a little bit of lettuce, like you could just dump that walking taco on a salad. That's what I would do.
Oh, okay. See, this is where we differ. You go straight to home cooking, and I am processed foods and fast foods and buying my meals out.
I won't judge you. The only part I'll judge you for is 7-Eleven chili. I don't know about that because I guarantee it made a fart sound coming out of that machine, right?
It totally did. This is
It
back in the
does, and it
day.
makes
I
the
don't know if
same
they still
sound
have
coming
it.
out of you, doesn't it?
No shame in that game.
Oh God, it must feel shameful. Like because I've pressed the chili button before. How many? Put a 3 in chat. Ow! A fucking giraffe just fell at me. Put a 3 in chat if you've pressed the chili button before, and because I guarantee if you have, you felt ashamed because it comes out feeling awkward. It makes noises, and you're like, "What am I doing with my life?"
I did. I'm not gonna shit.
It's a very shameful button. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Melissa, for 8 months, 8 fabulous months with the amazing community. Thank you. Hey, Katrina. Hello, anybody I missed. We're so happy to be back here tonight. We are going to be going hard this week with these investigative reports. I apologize that I had to take a long weekend off, but I am ready. I've been ducking and diving. I've been avoiding. I've been keeping my eyes closed, literally. What's a child dispenser?
It's a chili. I've never seen. They used to have chili. This is like back in the day.
It's like,
And then
is that a thing?
Yeah, it's like it used to be a thing where you could get the chili.
The nachos, yeah.
Yeah, you could make nachos. You had hot dogs, and you could make like chili cheese stuff.
Yes, they do. They do. There's 2 buttons, the cheese and the chili, and then they have like a pre-bagged thing of nacho chips, and you could squirt that shit on, literally. And MK says, "Yeah, I pumped that button a time or 3."
Thank you. Thanks, MK.
Send you a picture. Okay, and thank you, Jean. MJ, are you going to be doing a food review soon? If so, can you do a bagel review? I had a quarter of a bagel this morning, and I ditched the other half of the half because it just didn't meet my standards.
Okay.
And if you don't eat it quickly after like toasting it, it gets hard. You know. That was my breakfast journey. Thank you for coming. Hi, Lisa. Oh my goodness.
It reminded me of is it the Cat Williams skit where he tells his son he's gonna buy him the chicken nuggets, he can have like 4 and throw 6 out the window or something.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know. He's like, because we got it like that. It was so funny.
Yeah, toasted bagel is a game of roulette. It is. It's either you got to hit it perfectly for it to come out good, or else it's too far. It's hard, not enough. It could still be hard if you're going for like a day old bagel or something. It's a mess. Grilled hot dogs for breakfast today. That's
what?
Different. Pointer lover. I've had chicken parm for breakfast for sure. I don't like breakfast foods really.
She's judging me for my number 3 chili.
I'm not judging you. Judging you for it. Ooh, pretzel bites with honey mustard. Nice.
That sounds good.
I've been waiting almost a week for Milk Duds because I had a craving. And you guys know I don't like chocolate, but
why did you pronounce it like that?
Well, it's me, Shay. So,
just milk duds. You added like an A behind the milk, like Milk Duds.
Milk Duds. Well, either way, I went to 7-Eleven and I was like, I did not go for the chili. I went for the Milk Duds. And I was like, what? They didn't have any. So my ass did what a lazy ass bitch does. And I went to Amazon and I was like, let me get some Milk Duds because everything comes the same day, right? No, I had to buy this shit in bulk, number one. They didn't offer one singular box. So I'm like, family, I hope you like Milk Duds because like a whole carton of this shit's coming. And I've been waiting for a week and it's still not coming to Wednesday. This is my longest craving that I've had to wait to appease.
You can buy those at like the dollar store or like CVS or Walgreens, like in the little boxes.
I went to 7-Eleven and I assumed they just no longer sold it in stores. And then I felt very sure they didn't sell it in stores when I saw you could only buy it in bulk.
No, they still sell them in stores, but yeah, 7-Eleven and some of those stores don't carry them. It's like It's like the movie candy kind of boxes that they sell them in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and now I have a carton of those movie boxes coming. And I just want my Milk Duds. Like, I've been craving it for a fucking week. I just want my chocolate covered raisins. Go to the bank? What bank gives out Milk Duds? Wait, seriously, what bank gives out milk? No, not Milk Duds. I'm sorry, I lied.
Milk Duds don't have raisins.
Yeah, I meant Raisinets, not Milk Duds. I don't want Milk Duds. That's a caramel shit that pulls out your teeth.
I love
want
those.
Raisinets. I meant Raisinets. Just scratch everything I said and switch it out for Raisinets.
Yeah, I don't think they sell those much.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That was my whole point, Shay.
Interesting.
I have a whole carton of Raisinets. That's what I was craving. Raisinets, not Milk Duds. I don't eat Milk Duds.
They sell, Sunmaid sells chocolate covered raisins. I buy them from like Target and stuff like all the time.
They yogurt covered raisins.
But they also have chocolates.
But it's yogurt.
It's chocolate. There is a yogurt, but there's another chocolate flavor. I know what you're talking about. Not white chocolate.
I don't know about that.
Okay. It may not be the same brand as Sunmaid, but I swear I've seen them at the store where they have like chocolate covered raisins.
I know that they have yogurt covered raisins, but it seemed like it won't taste the same because that's like the healthier option. You know what I mean? I want a Raisinette, Shay.
Okay.
I want the sound of them pouring down when I turn that cardboard box upside down. You know what I mean? Sticking my 2 fingers so deep in there.
The box is like dismantled in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
You're like,
yeah,
they're
where
not
you have
coming
to
out
squeeze
fast
the
enough.
sides to make it the cardboard stretch open wider. That's what I want. Don't take my Raisinette game away from me. Neither do I really, Lisa. That's what I mean, though. It was a craving. It was a craving. I really don't like chocolate point of lover. So snow caps, there's nothing that appeases that, like, because at least with the Raisinette, like the inside isn't chocolate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but snow caps have the little white things on them, so it
Yeah.
makes extra pops in your mouth, and that's kind of satisfying.
They're not healthier. Well, do they taste less, good? Soaked in bourbon. Everyone's so scared is having a good time over here. I like my raisins soaked in bourbon.
I love it.
Oh my god. Okay. So here is our missing child for tonight's live stream. This is Ina or Ina. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Smith. She has been missing since July 20th, so 8 days from 2025. Bridgeport, Connecticut. She is 15 years old. I'm not sure if that's a natural beauty mark. If it is, that'll definitely help make her more identifiable, or if it's something that she applies herself. Then we have this additional photo. No, I guess it is not natural. To be fair, this is a really bad quality photo, so it might still be. But if you or anyone you know has information on Ina's whereabouts, please contact the Bridgeport Police Department in Connecticut at 1203-576-7671. Yeah.
Oh.
They're good. Yeah, Callie. All right. So are you guys ready to go through and continue with these investigative reports? I'm sure a lot of people have jumped forward. I don't blame you guys. I haven't. There was one thing I saw accidentally from Plunder's notification going to my home screen, and like that, but that's it. That's all I saw. I've done really good at avoiding the whole internet. Yeah.
I've read up to 100 pages.
Shay.
I couldn't help myself. I had to have a talk with Amber. You know how it is.
Boonay.
I know.
How
And
dare you?
Amber sit in our little chat a picture you may want to see later. It has to do with
Okay.
Kimball weed.
Oh gosh. All right. Well, I know where we last left off, so let's continue. Yay, Proud Grandma T. Thank you. You guys are so sweet. Thank you. Lisa, you guys waited. Or they're lying to my face, but I believe them because they're a great community. Thanks, guys. We're gonna go hard this week and we're gonna get through a good portion of this. So yep. You want to start? So we have this, which is what is this?
Number 17, right?
Yes.
Justin Dean. So this is a phone interview of RH. Yep. So on November 15th, 2022, at approximately 12:48 hours, I spoke with the blank president, RH, about the 1122 King Road residence. I asked H if she knew the people who lived at the house. H said yes. She said they were a close group of friends who primarily hung out with themselves. Okay, so I think this is a sorority president. That's what I'm gathering. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay. She said, okay. H said she did a couple of times.
I'm so
Okay.
sorry. It was
Go
the
ahead.
comment.
No, you're
Callie
fine.
said, Shay opens the corner of Christmas gifts before Christmas Day.
And I tape them back.
Okay, sorry. Go on.
Sometimes I get a little bit like curious, but Amber had asked me a question this weekend, and I didn't read ahead, and then I watched her do her little do docu thing she did, and then I was like, I gotta read because now I need to talk about what Amber asked me.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I wasn't fully listening to her because I didn't know she had read through them.
Yeah, no, we're just messing with you. I completely understand. It was just okay.
I know, but we'll get to them soon because they won't be far down this list.
Yes, no, we're fine. It's
Okay.
totally fine.
Okay, so sorry guys. So I'm assuming that this is an interview, like I said, with one of the presidents of the sororities, because they said that the girls at the King Road House normally hang out with themselves. I asked H if she ever went to parties at the house. She said she did a couple of times, but the parties were small. She said the roommates were a pretty tight group who didn't throw big parties. I asked if she knew about any drug use or sales from the house, and H said she thought Xana and Ethan may have used coca, but nothing big, and no one sold drugs. I asked her if she knew whether there were larger quantities of drugs kept at the residence, and H said no. H then told me she was at the Corner Club on November 13th between midnight and 2 o'clock in the morning. She said Maddie and Kaylee were also at the Corner Club during that time. And she said she heard a male was kicked out of the bar because he was acting creeping towards Maddie. I asked H if she had any other details about the mailer incident, and H said no. I told H to get a hold of me if she had any information she believed would be helpful. This is signed by Detective Justin Dean. And I would like to go ahead and...
culprit.
There she is.
Go ahead.
I would like to say to everybody, like I said, I read ahead, and we may hear the coca thing come up, but please note that one witness will clarify actually what they did, and
Okay.
it's less than that. It's like an Adderall, basically.
Oh, it does say it's Adderall?
Yeah, I think Bethany said who did what.
Okay.
So yeah, it'll come, but I just want that to be known that like this is just like they're kind of this person speculating. She doesn't really know, but later somebody close to them verifies.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. I didn't want you to be shocked. I just felt like it's good to know because people get their feelings about the drug stuff.
Okay, so we have a neighborhood canvas from Roger Lanier. Let me see. Okay, so this is on November 14th, 2022 at approximately 1000 hours. I responded back to 1122 King Road to conduct a neighborhood canvas in the daylight. Chief Fry was with me. We started from the rear of the residence and covered the small hill area just behind 1122 King Road. Right behind the residence, there was a small black bag that had obviously been out in the weather for some time. There was nothing in it. We searched up to the parking lot of Queen Road, then worked southwest along the hillside before the parking lot. We searched the fenced backyard of Valenta Drive and continued west above King Road. From there, I was joined by Sergeant Gunderson, and we went through the south side of King Road, around the back, then back west between King Road and King Road. They're numbers, but they're redacted. I worked over to Queen Road, going north then between Queen Road and King Road, out to Taylor Avenue. We crossed the open field from Taylor Avenue north to Nez Perce at the crosswalk near Redacted. We walked the pathway north to the World War I Memorial Grove and stopped at that point. I returned to the intersection of Taylor Avenue and King Road, where I met with Chief Fry again. From that point, we proceeded east along the south side of Taylor Avenue, looking in the shrubbery and around the cars parked along the curb. At the entrance of the parking lot of Taylor Avenue, I located a black vest laying on the grass next to the fire hydrant. The vest appeared to be weathered with leaves and debris on it. It appeared to have been there for several days. I checked the pockets and examined the vest, but did not find anything of note. As we continued to walk east along the south side of Taylor Avenue, I noted a large amount of trash and various items on the grass and in the bushes, including various glass and plastic bottles, pipes of various types, some articles of clothing such as a t-shirt and underwear, men's and women's, and various papers and litter. All appeared to have been in the area for several days or weeks, and I did not determine any evidentiary value for any items I saw. From there, I went south down Linda Lane and walked west between Taylor Avenue and Linda Lane, then north of the easternmost building of Queen Road, then up to the parking lot of the north side of Queen Road, back to Queen Road. End of report. Yeah, random pipes and men and girls, like underwear, not just one, all. Which tells you it was a college campus, man.
Somebody going to fuck by the bushes or something?
I have no idea.
Mm.
Okay, we got a big one here. So let's see. This is number 19. And this is Dean, Officer Dean, but watch guard BWC. I'm not sure what that stands for.
Officer Dean?
Yes.
Or I thought it was Rosinski. Oh, okay, I have the wrong one.
1112 Dean. Oh, additional responding officers. Hold on. Yep, Rosinski.
Okay. Okay. I had to put the side by side up on mine because sometimes it'll glitch on StreamYard. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Okay, so this is, like we said, Rosinski. On 11/16/2022, I spoke with KN at the substation on the University of Idaho campus. I asked Kay if she had any special relationships with any of the victims, and Kay said she was really good friends with Xana, and she met her freshman year. Kay said she was also close friends with Kaylee and met her freshman year during recruitment. Kay said she knew Kaylee the best. I asked Kay if Kaylee hung out or associated with anyone with violent tendencies. Kay said no and expressed she was confused about the incident because what she saw on the news. Kay said Kaylee mainly stuck together with her roommates, Xana, Bethany, Dylan, Maddie. Okay. So Kay, you okay?
Yep.
Kay said that Kaylee also hung out with the King girls, which is in quote, which were JT and F, BD, and AV. And I think some of those girls were on some of like the interviews we've seen. I asked Kay if Kaylee was involved in using illegal substances, and Kay said just coke probably. And like, I'm going to go ahead and say this. Toxicology results, according to court documents, none of the kids had any drugs in their systems at the time of death, just alcohol. Let's just say that. No illegal drugs.
Can I just pause for a second? Because you mentioned the Adderall. Had they not taken it, I don't think you leave a cut up line out for long. I would expect it to be in your system if you did it anytime recently.
They did it apparently earlier in the day, and they said what it said basically was Ethan took his regular, but Xana liked to cut hers up and she snorted it.
Oh, but was it in their system?
It probably was, but I'm speaking more to the illegal acts, like outside.
It's illegal if you're not prescribed it, though. That's why I asked.
Right, but something that wouldn't be an over-the-counter kind of thing, like cocaine, heroin, like harder stuff is what I'm referring to.
Okay.
Okay, so this person, she said she thought that Kay did coca, and she said I asked Kay if she saw Kaylee doing coca, and Kay said no, but she knew Xana was pretty into it. So she's kind of making assumptions there. But so Detective Dean asked if Ethan, Xana's boyfriend, was into coca, and Kay said she did not know. Kay said she didn't know Ethan that well. Detective Dean asked if drugs were being sold from the house or if the drugs were more used for parties. And Kay said they were used but not sold. Detective Dean asked if there were large quantities of drugs at the house or if the house was known as a drug house, and Kay said no.
Oh, so you mean that they investigated that very early on if it was a drug house?
Yeah,
Look
yeah,
at that.
they invested a lot. I asked Kay if Kaylee ever mentioned about having a stalker, having concerns about anyone, and Kay said no. Kay also said Kaylee never mentioned anything to the girls. Kay asked if we saw the Twitch stream. I asked Kay what she saw in the stream, and she mentioned there were two guys. I asked Kay if she recognized the two guys, and Kay said she did not. Kay said her friend PC and G, which was like a nickname, were at the Grub Truck and saw Kaylee and Madison. Kay said P mentioned that the two males were being weird. I asked Kay if she or anyone recognized anyone from the Grub Truck stream, and Kay said no. I asked Kay if she was familiar with the fraternity members of blank, and she said yes. I asked Kay if there was anything mentioned why the males were labeled as weird, and she said she thought one of the males nudged the other male, like, "Oh, those are your girls, go and get them," in quotes. Kay said that P would be worth talking to because she was there during that time. I asked Kay if P spoke with Kaylee, and Kay said she might have said hi, but wasn't sure. Kay also mentioned that ZM hung out with Kaylee and Maddie all night at the corner club. I asked Kay if any of the victims had any issues with anyone, and she said that Kaylee was unproblematic and peaceful. She said she can't imagine someone with violent tendencies around her. She said she felt the same way about Maddie. Kay said, if anything, maybe Ethan and Xana. I asked if Ethan and Xana associated with violent people, and Kay said this because Kay said that Xana and Ethan were more outgoing and hung out with different friend groups. Detective Dean asked if Kaylee or Maddie recently had a boyfriend or ex-boyfriend, and Kay said Kaylee dated a guy named JD for a couple years, and Kaylee and Jay, which is Jack, were high school sweethearts. Kay said Jack was a really nice person. Kay said she spoke to Kaylee a couple days before the incident, and Kaylee said once she graduated, she was looking for an apartment in Texas. And Kay said Kaylee met a guy from Texas that is already living there, and they were going to be roommates. I asked Kay if Kaylee and Jack were still together when Kaylee mentioned that to her, and Kay said no, that they were already broken up. Kay said that Jack mentioned that Kaylee attempted to call him around 3 o'clock in the morning, asking if he was up. Kay
Mm.
said she didn't think that Jack replied to Kaylee because he thought it was some type of quote booty call. Detective Dean asked how they knew that Kaylee attempted to reach out to Jack, and Kay said because Jack told them. Kay said she thought they found out after people were asking Jack if he knew anything about what happened. Detective Dean asked if Maddie had a boyfriend, and Kay said yes. They call him S, I think it's Schreiger, and said she thought his first name was it's Jake. Yeah, Jake. Kay
Jake.
said they are still together. She does not think they had problems, and Schreiger was a good guy. Detective Dean asked what he looked like, and Kay said Schreiger was short, maybe 5'7", balding. Kay said he had brown hair and was skinny, and thought he lived in Coeur d'Alene. Kay said Bethany was Maddie's little, like in the sorority. Kay said Kaylee and Maddie were the closest out of all the roommates, and Detective Dean asked if Dylan had a boyfriend. Kay said yes. Kay said his name is Quinn. Kay said he also lived in Boise, and that Quinn was nice and hardworking, and she's suggesting he may have epilepsy and was a nonviolent person. Kay said she was not aware of any issues between roommates. I asked if Kaylee hung out with any other males. Kay said Kaylee was talking to a guy named MB, who was a member of blank. Kay said they had a sexual relationship and would hook up here and there. She described him to be over 6 feet, brunette, and medium build. Kay said he was serving as vice president to blank. I asked Kay if there was anyone else Kaylee spent time with, and Kay said no, unless Kaylee met someone at the bar that night. And Kay did not know if Kaylee met anyone in particular, but heard a male got kicked out for being creepy towards Maddie. Kay said J or Z, maybe Jack or Z could probably have more J or Z, I don't know, maybe it's not Jack, could probably have more info because they were also at the bar. Kay said that the last time she spoke to Kaylee was at about 1700 hours on November 13th. Kay said Kaylee showed up with all of Kaylee's roommates at her apartment, the Whites, sometimes between 1430 and 1500 hours. Kaylee said they left sometime between 1700 and 1800 hours, and I told Kay I was aware of a social media post of all the roommates pictured together, and Kay said that was at her apartment. I asked Kay if she had ever been over to Kaylee's house before. I asked if people use the Wi-Fi, and Kay was unsure. She said they usually leave their doors unlocked, and everyone knows it's a blank out of house. I don't know. Asked why Kaylee lived a sorority maybe out of house. I asked why Kaylee lived in a house with a different sorority. And Kay said that Kaylee and Maddie have been best friends for several years and spoke about living with each other. Kay said that Kaylee was still close with her freshman/sophomore friend group. I asked Kay if she was aware of any cameras in the area. Kay said no. Detective Dean asked Kay if she saw anyone in the area that seemed out of place, and Kay said she thought while she was at her apartment and does not remember who, but said somebody mentioned about a random kid carrying a BB gun, but no one thought anything of it. Kay said she had reached out to Bethany on 11/13 after the incident, but she did not reply. Kay said maybe Emily Allant has reached out, but was unsure. I asked if anyone has reached out to Dylan or Bethany, and Kay said maybe Emily Allant. I concluded my interview. So
I was going to have a lot of these from the kids, like these college kids, like I'm just trying to remember back. Like it was, it's probably going to be information overload, not all reliable. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but it does maybe lay some foundation for some rumors we heard.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And tips, that definitely went into law enforcement. Obviously, they're here.
Yeah. Okay, this is Aaron Morris, and this is another BWC, a watch guard event, and it says, on November 17, 2022 at 14:30 hours, I responded to the University of Idaho Kibbe Dome to interview J.N. Captain Barrett said N possibly had information regarding the homicide. N took Detective Dean and myself to a conference room to speak. What's the Idaho Kibbe Dome? University of Idaho Kibbe Dome.
I'm looking right now.
Okay. It says
it's their activity center.
Activity center.
Yeah, it includes it has like an outdoor concrete football stadium, a whole bunch of stuff.
Got it. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
N stated that on Sunday, November 13, 2022, between 9 hours and 10 hours, he was walking his dog. He stated when he walked by the first time, he noticed the front door to 1122 King Road on the north side of the building facing campus was wide open. He stated he knew it was a party house, so assumed someone was too intoxicated and forgot to close the door the night prior. N stated he walked his dog up to Taylor Avenue, to Blake Avenue, then down Sweet Avenue. He said the walk took him approximately 1 hour. N stated when he walked back up to his apartment around 1100 hours, the front door was still wide open. N said he was unsure if the information was known or not, but thought he should report it. I asked N if he knew anyone who lived in the house. He said not personally, but in passing. I think, and cleared. So why would the ground level front door, is that they're talking about Bethany's level?
Yeah.
We heard about that from the beginning too. Why would that door be wide open at 9 a.m.? And that's the time Bryan also passed.
I don't know. It's weird because I know she later says she saw like a firecracker flash like under her door.
Right. And a
So
loud pop.
this is the door. This front door is the one that Xana's dad replaced some of the springs on because apparently, like in a later report, you find out like that door had like been left was open and the girls got scared, but a lot of people thought that Xana's dad fixed like her actual door, like to her room or the slider, but apparently it was the front door because they have the interview with him.
So Lisa, in part 1, we read a report and it accounted the officer explaining how Bethany on the ground level first floor, there's 2 ground levels, but the main front of the house, she was woken up to the sound of a flashing light and a firecracker sound, right?
Right. And there's some supplemental reports of the roommates that'll be in here later on, so we may get more info, but it's weird, right?
It's extremely weird. And on Silent Bob, not that I've gotten up to yet. This is as far as I've gotten with you guys. Someone else may know, but I want to know what time that was. That makes a huge difference.
It was around 4, I believe, is what I read, like in a supplemental report. And it's really confusing me.
Why? Because Harlot's right. When Dylan went down, she would have known if that front door is wide open.
Exactly.
She had to pass it directly to get back, to loop to the left of the staircase towards Bethany's room.
Yeah, it's weird. So she said that she turned off in the supplemental report she had been watching that show Baby Daddy. And that
Xana would have gotten her DoorDash right at that door. She wouldn't have left it wide open. Because that's the one thing I saw, like I said, with Punter's video, is the DoorDash one. And she left it at the front door, that front door. Took a picture and left it. Xana would have went down, got it. That door should not be open.
Unless maybe slamming the door made it sound loud to her. Because like maybe or did a light bust or something.
The flashing light could have been her shining for the DoorDash over. We know she was shining her flashlight. Her phone flashlight.
Yeah, it could be.
But why was that door open? Well, the slider door was opening too, ATS News. That's why this is like, wait, we've heard about this door possibly being ajar at 9 a.m. from the beginning. We've heard about that.
What I can remember from what I read up to, this is the only report thus far that mentions this door being open on this specific date.
Okay.
And it's confusing to me too, because Bethany says like later in a supplemental interview that she went to bed watching that show Baby Daddy. Okay. She said she was tired and she turned it off. So she never left anything playing in her room. So it wouldn't be like it was like something from a TV.
Yeah, Harlot, this was 9 a.m. the next morning. So that's what I'm saying. Like Xana would have gone down to get that DoorDash and the door should be shut. Naturally, she would have shut the door behind her, the front door, and locked up at 4 a.m., But as far as the light and the sound, we know that door, and we haven't gotten to it yet on the channel, but it's the one report I saw that I said I couldn't avoid, was that the DoorDash lady apparently was driving around for 15 minutes, couldn't figure out the house, and using her phone flashlight. So maybe, I don't know what kind of sound, but also with the flashlight, I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait to get to it. But either way, it shouldn't be open. It shouldn't be open, not on.
Yeah, Harley Quinn. It was like an ABC Family show. It's really funny. It's a cute little sitcom. I love it. I've seen it twice. But Melissa, I was just thinking, what if, and I don't know this type of home, but I've had it before where I've had a home where if a light bulb goes out, it kind of makes that flash crack, but it doesn't bust the light bulb. Like, could somebody been trying to turn on a light and it like maybe Xana going down and the light like circuited, you know what I mean?
You think in a party house that would have woken Bethany up from her? She drank too, right?
Yeah, she definitely drank. She was out. Sounds like she was out drinking later than Dylan was.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to think on this and go through these reports and get back to you because I'm a little stumped with this one so far.
Same. I think everybody, like collective public, is stumped on that. It's weird.
Hmm.
And maybe that's one of the things that Anne wanted to talk with her about. Just thinking through having that secondary interview.
Exculpatory.
Yeah.
Bethany has exculpatory evidence to Bryan.
Hey, Midnight Lace. Okay, you ready? This is by Detective Lawrence Mowry. So, guys, we're going to get through some warrant ones, but let's just power through them.
Detective Mowry, yeah.
Okay, so on November 16th, 2022, I applied for and was granted the following warrants for the cell phone providers serving the area of King Road. It's AT&T. They did a tower dump of unique device user IDs pertaining to timing advance, real-time tool, RTT, location database of records, location information during the following listed dates, times, and geographical boundaries. So they looked for a distance between 0.5 miles of the home between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. They served that warrant for 3 phone numbers. Then that was served. Then they went to Verizon. They asked the same information. They asked the same information of T-Mobile. So it says and then Inland Cellular, which sounds like it's a more local one. So 4 companies for records.
Okay. Okay, here we go. Let's see, what's this? This says files. Is that Olivia Goncalves?
Yeah.
Okay. On November 15th, 2022. Oh, I'm sorry. This is Detective Mowry still. So on November 15th, 2022, I received an email from Steve Goncalves, the father of Kaylee. He stated he had access to some of Kaylee's messages and phone calls. Steve stated he would have redacted Olivia contact me about those files. His daughter, Olivia, contact me about those files. I was able to speak with Olivia, and she sent me various files, including an image from the spokesman review showing a camera on a nearby residence, text messages between Kaylee and Jack, text messages between Kaylee and her Uber driver, E, a recent phone call list, and video from the Grub Truck Twitch.tv feed. I attached these files to the case file. The communication between Kaylee and D, which is Jack, was located on D's phone examination, and the Twitch feed was previously downloaded. In the image showing the camera, it was found that residence was at blank King Road. The SD card from the camera was brought to the Moscow Police Department, but the file system of the card was not recognized by any of the forensic computers. The card was returned to the owner and reinstalled into the camera. On November 17, 2022, Officer John Rosinski recontacted the owner of the camera, PC, via phone. C stated she was out of town, but sent a video to Officer Rosinski showing a figure walk to the dumpster and appear to look inside. No, oh gosh. To preserve any, sorry, it's just like, oh. To preserve any potential evidence of the camera, I asked C if we could seize the entire device, including the SD card, to which she stated yes. C stated she would not be back in Moscow until approximately November 28th. I directed C to contact me when she returns to her residence, at which time I will attempt to connect the camera back to her Wi-Fi router and view the video from the device. So we've seen that video.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen that video. All right. We have a Facebook preservation.
Yes. From Maori. On November 18th, 2022, I received an email from Olivia Gonzalez showing a screenshot of the Facebook post from DM. In the post of the account, the username was blank, reported details about the incident. I searched for this user and found a user ID of blank. This account had an avatar similar to the M avatar. I was
Is
able to
that
pull up.
Dylan? Like, is the account for Dylan Mortensen?
I don't know. Maybe. I was
Okay.
able to pull up the account and it appeared to have the following. Yeah, because I think she had a friend named LM that she was hanging out with that night. To have the following friends associated with it: blank, blank, then one of LM. I requested preservation on all 4 of these accounts. At approximately 7:45 hours, I received an email from Facebook stating the accounts were preserved. I don't know.
So again, it shows though that the family didn't immediately cross off the surviving victims, right? Like they questioned and they looked through everything, which I would anticipate they did.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. Well, everyone thought no one was doing nothing. Sorry. All right, we have a Twitch video. This is the Grubhub truck one. Okay, let's see. This is November 18th, 2022. So on November 13th, I was informed 2 of the victims had been patrons at the Grub Truck located on Main Street in Moscow, Idaho. I was also informed Grub Truck streams live feeds of their customers and sales via twitch.tv. I was able to locate the Twitch account Grub Truckers and locate the stream from the November 12th to 13th, 2022. This stream was labeled The Carbonara Effect. We'll never reveal our secret ingredient and located at XYZ. In the video, Kaylee and Maddie are seen walking into camera view on the video at 3:43:01 timestamp. They are accompanied by a male, later identified as Jack Showalter. Gonsalves orders and receives food. At the 3:53:31 timestamp, the girls are seen walking around the truck and leave the area. Showalter appears to be talking to another patron and does not see the girls leave. Showalter then raises his arms in a what fashion and walks away in a different direction than the girls. A copy of this video was captured and saved as evidence. So that was on the 18th. Okay.
Wow.
It's so crazy seeing all of this, like to follow it so closely, and then to see it, like how they investigated it in front of us and get those dates finally and how it played out, how they were notified of certain things. It's very interesting to me.
I know. I still find it fascinating.
Uh-huh.
All right. We got next up Aaron Morris. We have a SB follow-up. On 11/18/2022, I was asked to conduct a follow-up on SB. I was told B was contacted on 11/17 by MPD and ISP officers. I was asked to watch video from 1200 hours on 11/12 to 1300 hours on 11/13 to see B's movements during the homicide. On 11/12, B
This was,
left.
sorry, is this someone they were looking into?
Yes.
Okay. SB. Okay.
I've never heard this person. Yeah. On 11/12, B left his dorm room at 12:05 hours. He was wearing a black long sleeve shirt and black sweats. At 12:53 hours, B returned. At 15:03 hours, B left again wearing a black beanie, black gloves, and a white jacket. At 1948 hours, he returned to the dorm without the beanie, gloves, and jacket, but then left again at 1952 hours with a backpack. B was gone until 11:13 at 12:25 hours when he returned to the dorm. I reported the information to ISP.
Shay, can you imagine being the person, like you would know that that's you, right? Like,
Yeah.
and finding out that they were looking into you for this,
If somebody put a tip in on you, like,
Yeah.
oh, everybody was sus to them.
Everybody. Yeah. So we have a location request for our next supplemental report. And it states, on November 18th, 2022, I logged into the Uber law enforcement portal and submitted an exigent preservation request for any location data associated with the Uber driver named EG, with the phone number of redacted. Due to the nature of the investigation, Uber recommended an exigency request for the preservation. In a screenshot received from Olivia Goncalves, it showed messages which appear to be from Goncalves' phone between from G's phone between Kaylee and himself. Oh, I'm sorry, the Uber driver. So the name of the recipient is Kaylee Uber. It is unknown if G was on duty with Uber at the time of him picking up Goncalves and Maddy Mogen. Uber stated if the driver was on duty, it would show the location of the vehicle. That is true. So if the driver was not on duty, Uber would not have the data. I was informed by Uber customer service this is common if the driver provides personal transportation services. At 14:34 hours, I received an email from Uber stating they received my request. I received an email at approximately 16:17 hours from Uber, which contained files regarding the Uber logs of EG. The record shows his location up until approximately 1:15 hours, where it appears no other information is found and G goes off duty. These records were attached to the case file. No warrant was requested or returned as Uber provided the data via exigent request. Okay. I'm sure people will make shit out of that too, Shay.
But he went offline?
Yeah, but that's not unusual, honestly, at all. Like, there's so many people who do that with Uber, but I could imagine, especially so if you're driving local college kids around and you have relationships and they're stored in your phone at that point, that doesn't surprise me.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, next up we got devices from Lawrence Mowry. November 17th, I contacted Detective Neil Uring of the Post Falls Police Department for assistance in examining the laptops and iPad located in the residence. Detective Uring arrived at NPD and received the following items. It looks like we have 4 Apple laptops, 2 Dell laptops, and 1 Apple iPad.
Okay. Let's see. What do we got here? This is King Road video.
Oh.
All right.
Because there were several cameras on King Road, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Detective Mowry, again, King Video. So on November 13th, 2022, I was informed of a possible surveillance camera located at King Road. Corporal Ryan Snyder had spoken with one of the residents at this location, PC, who had a camera using the Home Eye Pro app on the porch of their dwelling. Oh, this is 1112. Corporal Snyder provided me with the username and password for the Home Eye Pro account associated with C. I asked
You're right.
Snyder, what?
Oh, you're right. Sorry, I muted for a second to drink. 1112.
No, you're fine. I asked Corporal Snyder if this video, you guys, 1112 is the one with the infamous pumpkin sitting there, the notorious one that everyone knows about. I asked Corporal Snyder if this video was stored on a cloud-based system for me to review or if C could download a copy of the video. I was provided a 32 gigabyte SD card from the camera, but the file format was not recognized by any of the forensic computers and prompted me to format the disk. Corporal Snyder informed me C could screen capture the video from her phone, which would make sense why that video kind of existed on the phone to begin with, because they had took it so quickly. Remember, they took it so quickly. And the card was returned to C to enable her to insist in the acquisition of the data. November 17, 2022, I requested the assistance of Officer John Rosinski to recontact C and see if she could provide the video from the camera. Officer Rosinski contacted C, who stated she was in Boise until November 28th. Officer Rosinski, C sent him a video of a male subject walking by the camera at approximately 3:20 hours towards the dumpster. And Officer Rosinski contacted me, and I spoke to C and requested permission to remove the camera from the residence, and she consented. Based on my training and experience, I know many of the different video surveillance cameras uses a first in, first out storage retention system. This means the newer data overwrites the older data. I was concerned data may be lost the longer the camera continued to record footage. I was requested assistance from Officer Aaron Morris to go to the residence and unscrew the camera from its location. The camera screws in a common light bulb base commonly found on patio porch fixtures. Officer Morris returned a short time later with the camera and the SD card. So this is the infamous images of them taking that what is it called? Camera off of that porch that we've all seen.
Mm-hmm. And they had a lot of issues with that thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Are we on the next one?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Dillinger. So this is surveillance videos. On November 19, 2022, at approximately 1200 hours, I met with Detective Mowry, who tasked me with downloading surveillance video footage from several USB memory drives. Detective Mowry gave me multiple small manila envelopes which contained USB memory drives collected from multiple different investigators. Detective Mowry asked me to download the videos from all the drives and to place them on an external hard drive, which he provided to me. Once that task was complete, Detective Mowry asked me to copy all of the videos from portable hard drive to the M drive on our City of Moscow network, where he created a folder where working copies of the videos could be stored. After downloading the videos from the individual USB memory drives, I placed them back into the manila envelopes they came from and sealed them with the evidence tape. I did find 2 of the USB memory drives which came from the same envelope. They did not contain any video footage, and I returned them to Detective Mowry. Once all the videos were downloaded to the portable hard drive, I then copied them all to the M drive in the city network and returned the hard drive to Detective Mowry. No, they're keeping their chain of evidence reported. That's good.
That's good, yeah. Okay, Officer Rosinski's phone interview with PC, which is the neighbor that they just got the cameras from. So it says on November 15th, 2022, at about 13:48 hours, I spoke with PC on the phone. P said she was good friends with Kaylee, but was also friends with Xana and Ethan. P said she was a member of the sorority. P is currently a junior at the U of I. P said she was not aware of anyone that Kaylee associated with that had violent tendencies. P said she was not aware if Kaylee was being involved in drugs in any way. P said she knew people partied with drugs, but doesn't know of Kaylee or any of her roommates being involved in drugs. P said she did not know if drugs were being sold from their residence. P said she was at a party earlier in the day at a friend's apartment at the Whites. P said at the apartment she saw Kaylee, Maddie, Xana, and Ethan. P said they were all just hanging out and there were other people there as well. P said there was nobody of concern at the apartment and everyone was present and was a familiar person. P said she last saw Kaylee at the Grub Truck. P said she arrived after Kaylee. Wait, this isn't the neighbor, right?
It may be.
Okay. P said she last saw Kaylee at the Grub Truck. P said she arrived after Kaylee and said Kaylee was there with Maddie. P said Kaylee's demeanor was good and they struck up conversation. P said Kaylee seemed really happy and said Kaylee and Maddie were laughing. P said she did not have a conversation with Maddie and only Kaylee. P said they did not mention what their plans were after the Grub Truck. P said Kaylee and Maddie seemed a little intoxicated and believed they came from the club. P said Kaylee seemed coherent and was not stumbling or slurring her words. P did not know if Kaylee and Madison showed up to the Grub Truck with anyone. P said she later watched the Twitch video and it appeared someone showed up with Kaylee and Maddie, but she did not recognize the individual. P said her friends did not either. P said after Kaylee got her food, she saw Kaylee and Maddie walk in the direction of campus. P did not see anyone following them. P mentioned that she saw in the Grub Truck video someone walking in the same direction. P said she heard that there was someone concerning at the corner club. P said she heard the individual was being creepy towards Maddie and was kicked out. P was not aware of any other males that Kaylee spent time with. P said she knew that Kaylee had an ex-boyfriend that went to UI, but she understood they were on good terms. P said she knew Madison had a boyfriend that graduated from UI. P did not know his name. P did not know of anyone that Ethan and Xana hung out with. P said she wished she had more to share. I thanked P for her time and concluded the interview. I just assumed it was the neighbor because it was the same initials.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird not knowing who's who, you know?
Well, I never knew that they were that close if that was the case. Okay.
Well, they said something about the Keegs house or the Keegs girls or something. So I don't know. It's weird. Okay. So this is by Danny Vargas. What he did was transporting electronic devices to Post Falls PD and Coeur d'Alene PD. On November 16, 2022, I transported the 4 cell phones belonging to Kaylee, Maddie, Xana, and Ethan to Coeur d'Alene PD and gave them to Detective Dustin Taylor at approximately 07 hours. On November 17th, at approximately 12:49 hours, I picked up the cell phones from Detective Taylor at CDA PD and brought them back to MPD and gave them back to Detective Mowry. On November 21st, I transported the phones belonging to Chapin, Mogen, and Kernodle to Coeur d'Alene PD and dropped them off with Detective Jesse Welch at approximately 1100 hours. On November 21st, I transported 2 separate charging cords belonging to certain electronic devices to Post Falls PD and dropped them off with Detective Brad Johnson at approximately 10:30 hours. I told Detective Johnson the cords were for the devices with Detective Neil Uring received from Detective Mowry. That's it.
Okay. All right. I think we have another. Oh, okay. Trigger warning. We have autopsies.
Oh yeah, this is the one I had to read and talk to Amber about because I was trying to decipher if Ethan was wearing clothes or not the way it looked.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. I don't want to have a jelly bean in my mouth when I'm reading, so hold on.
Do you want me to start?
No, I got it. Okay.
I like jelly beans.
They're sour jelly beans.
Ooh.
So they're great. Yeah. Okay. It says the Spokane County Medical Examiner autopsies. On November 16th, 2022, at approximately 7:45 hours, Leda County Coroner Kathy Mabut, or Mabbitt, and I attended the 4 autopsies of Xana, Ethan, Maddie, and Kaylee at the Spokane County Medical Examiner's office. The 4 autopsies were all performed by Dr. V.S. Interesting, they're keeping her name. Okay.
Her name's already been out there. Like she's
Yeah.
had like one thing she spoke on. And that was it. She wouldn't really
It's
talk.
interesting that it would be redacted. Okay.
Yeah.
Gary Tolson, a detective with ISP, observed 3 of the autopsies, Kernodle, Mogen, and Goncalves, as he arrived after the autopsy for Chapin was performed. Okay, so Ethan was first. During the autopsies, the following items of evidence were collected. For Kaylee, a DNA card, hand swabs, 4 of her right hand wet and dry, left hand wet and dry, wrist swabs, forearm swabs, foot swabs, ankle swabs, anal swab, oral swab, vaginal swab, head hair, nail clippings, 2 of the right, 2 on the left, neck swabs, handbags, t-shirt, corner club, nasty and inebriated black, pants, Joe boxer gray and black flannel, silver earring, which is singular, sock 1, Adidas, which again singular, SD photo card, autopsy photos. So all of the above listed items were released to me by KS on the 16th at approximately 19:27 hours. Maddie Mogen, we have a DNA card, hand swabs, wrist swabs, forearm swabs. Okay. Forearm swabs, foot swabs, ankle swabs, anal swab, oral swab, vaginal swab, head hair, nail clippings, 2 right, left, neck swab, handbags, short sleeve skirt, pink, pants, black Vandal Russell brand sweatpants, silver rings, 3, hair tie black, false eyelashes, 2, SD photo card, autopsy photos. Collected from Xana, 1938. Sorry, I want to pay attention to the times. 1927. Why don't we have a time for Kaylee? No time for Kaylee, but 1927 hours for Maddie, and then 1938 hours? You're telling me it was done in 11 minutes?
1927 was Kaylee. 1938 was Maddie. Xana was 1949. And Ethan was 1941.
What? How is this minutes? It takes minutes to do that? I guess to do the swab. No, I guess I don't know. I don't know.
Well, these are some of the swabs. Like I'm assuming
Yeah,
whatever the medical examiner does the like full
yeah. No, I
autopsy,
know it's
like
not the
she's gonna
autopsy,
record
but
it.
even the swabs and to collect the items that were on their persons, that's kind of quick.
Yeah. I'm sure they have a system, there's probably an assistant to the
Yeah,
medical examiner holding something as she swabs and they're labeling.
yeah. I guess so. Um, So Xana, we have the DNA card, hand swabs, wrists, forearms, foot, ankle. See, for her, we have thighs. I have not seen the thighs.
I think it's because Ethan's naked in bed.
Okay.
That's what I took from that.
Okay. Well, I'm just trying to make sure that they match up. But for hers, I see thighs.
Yeah, it was different.
Okay. Anal swab, oral swab, vaginal swab. We have head hair, pubic hair, nail clippings, neck swab, handbags, foot bag. See, for her, we have a foot bag too.
Well, she's walking around in it, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So they don't know
Sweatshirt,
if she kicked him, maybe. I don't know.
maybe,
Or she has cuts on her foot, maybe.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Um, they were preserving something on her foot, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Sweatshirt, which is the Under Armour gray, underwear, Calvin Klein beige, trace evidence left hand, trace evidence from body bag, SD photo card. Then for Ethan, DNA card, hand swabs, wrist swabs, forearm swabs, ankle swabs, anal swab, oral swab, penile swabs, head hair, pubic hair, nail clippings, neck swab, handbags, trace evidence from right hand, necklace, bracelet, socks, photo card. So he was naked. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. That's why I asked Amber because she was asking me. We were talking about Ethan's body position with the way like some of the stuff was being described, and then when I got to the autopsy photos, questions I started having. I was like, maybe, based on he doesn't have any clothes that
Yeah, he doesn't have any clothes.
they had and what's kind of sad though is I don't know. When I was in college, I had a lot of time with, loving time with my boyfriend and think that,
It totally makes sense if
yeah,
you're going
you'd
to
be
bed
having a good
together.
night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, a lot of couples, even if you're not necessarily having a good night, can sleep like that. That's not, and she had just gotten DoorDash. You have to remember,
Hmm.
so it doesn't surprise me.
Right.
That's not unusual.
No.
So it says all of the above listed items were released. So major crime prints. As part of the autopsies, major crime prints were taken from each of the victims by the Spokane County Forensic Unit. Chapin's prints were taken on the 16th and released to me by TB on the 16th. Kernodle's prints were taken on the 16th, released on the 16th. Mogen's and Goncalves' prints were both taken on the 17th in the morning, and they were left by the Spokane County Medical Examiner's office. On the 17th, I responded to the Spokane County Medical Examiner's office and collected Mogen's and Goncalves' prints. Major crime prints taken by the following. So Ethan, his feet prints were taken on the 16th. Xana, hands and feet, taken on the 16th. Maddie, hands and feet, taken on the 17th. Kaylee's hands and feet, taken on the 17th. At the conclusion of the 4 autopsies, Dr. VS met with Kathy Mabbitt, Gary Tolson, and myself and told us the following. Ethan Chapin's fatal injury was from a stab wound under his left clavicle, which severed his subclavian vein and subclavian artery, and also his jugular vein was severed. Ethan only had sharp force injuries. Xana Kernodle's fatal injuries were from 1 laceration in her right lung and 2 lacerations in her heart. Kernodle had 50 plus stab wounds, mostly defensive. Xana only had sharp force injuries. Maddie Mogen's fatal injuries included a left lung laceration and a liver laceration. Maddie only had sharp force injuries, and there it is, the liver. Do you remember that article, Shay?
Mm-hmm.
Kaylee's fatal injuries included a left lung laceration, a liver, there you go, a liver laceration, 2 subdural bleeds, and a stab behind her clavicle, which cut her subclavian vein and artery. Kaylee had signs of sharp force injuries, asphyxial injuries, and blunt force injuries. Holy moly. Kaylee had 20 plus stab wounds. Dr. S said the weapon used was not serrated, single-edged, very sharp, and said a lot of force was used by the suspect. I will be uploading Dr. S' final autopsy reports to the case file when they are completed. On November 16, 2022, at approximately 1955 hours, I drove from Spokane County Medical Examiner's Office to the FBI office. Several of the clothing items collected during the autopsies were still wet and needed to dry in evidence dryers overnight. We saw that with the Watts case too. We know that infamous photo of Shanann's clothes hanging up. So S.A. Gunnarsson and I placed the following items in 2 separate dryers, dryer 1 and 2, in their evidence room, and I released the items to S.A. Gunnarsson. S.A. Gunnarsson signed for the items on the 16th at approximately 20:02 hours. The items belonging to Goncalves and Mogen were placed into dryer 1, and the items belonging to Kernodle and Chapin were placed into dryer 2. Dryer 1, Kaylee had the 2 handbags, the t-shirt, pants, sock. 1 sock. It's interesting to me. Okay. Maddie, handbags, short sleeve shirt, pants. Dryer 2, Kernodle, handbags, foot bags, sweatshirt, underwear. Ethan, handbags, and socks. I transported the remainder of the evidence items back to MPD and placed them into the evidence fridge in the MPD evidence room. On November 17, 2022 in the morning, I drove to the FBI office located at Redacted, and I met with Special Agent Bryan Gunnarsson. I removed the dried items from dryer 1 and dryer 2 and packaged them back into their original bags. Along with the items I turned over to S.A. Gunnarsson on the 16th, I collected 2 additional items from Gunnarsson. 1 bag which contained the drop sheet, filter, and security tag from dryer 1, and then 1 bag which contained the drop sheet, filter, and security tag from dryer number 2. Gunnarsson released these items to me on the 17th at approximately 11:28 hours. I transported these items back to MPD. On the 17th, I worked with TS, MPD evidence technician, and booked in all of the items collected from the autopsies into MPD evidence.
That's so sad. I cannot believe it. There's so much material. It's wild to me. Like, where do you even start? All right. It's sad.
It is sad.
All right. Okay, we got a report by Detective Tyson Barrett. This is for University of Idaho camera footage. On 11/21/2022 at around 1430 hours, I met with U of I Deputy Director of Public Safety and Security, BL, regarding saved security camera footage on campus. We provided L an external hard drive to recover the footage, and he completed the transfer of information. After receiving the hard drive, I immediately turned it over to FBI agent Dave Bodley so his team could review the data. If you want me to double up, because that one's short, I will. I don't mind.
Okay.
Cigarette butt.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Heard about that.
Yep, we did.
You want me to read it? Or you got it?
Yeah.
Okay, so John Rosinski, sorry. I think I misunderstood.
No, you're fine.
So we got 2 cigarette butts, guys. Item 252, 253. On 11/21, I was asked by Detective Adams with the Idaho State Police to book 2 cigarette butts into evidence that he collected. Detective Adams brought the 2 cigarette butts to the MPD evidence room where I watched him place them both into separate ISP envelopes. I sealed the envelopes with evidence tape and signed the tape for both. The chain of custody was filled out on both envelopes. I booked the 2 envelopes into MPD evidence and requested they be sent to the state lab. I took photographs of the cigarette butts and attached them to this case file. Signed, Rosinski.
Hmm.
I wonder whose they were.
Yeah,
Or if they were just outside by the house, you know?
Yeah, they brought those there. Okay, let me see. A drug tip follow-up.
I agree, Angel D. It's nuts to see kind of things you heard about be actually in the reports.
Yep, it is. So drug tip follow-up states on November 21st, 2022, at approximately 11:57 hours, I was asked by Captain Tyson Barrett to follow up on a possible lead in the 1122 King Road homicide case. I was told a Mexican drug dealer with the moniker C was possibly selling drugs to several fraternities and sororities on the University of Idaho campus. I told Captain Barrett I would contact several of my contacts to see if anyone knew of C. At approximately 12:04 hours, I began contacting my fellow Quad Cities Drug Task Force. None of the detectives had heard of a C selling cocaine in the Quad Cities. At approximately 12:11 hours, I reached out to the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosive Special Agent TJ out of Spokane, and they hadn't heard of him, but said he would reach out to the other agencies in the area. I also spoke to C at approximately 13:13 hours and JP at approximately 17:25 hours. H and P said they never heard of C selling cocaine in the area. P said he would contact me if he heard anything. I also spoke with Brandon DeMeyer with Benton County Sheriff's Office, approximately 16:25 hours. Deputy DeMeyer hadn't heard of C, but said he would contact his local detectives about the name and let me know if he found anything out. I will be waiting to see if any information can be found about C. So you're telling me they followed up and they did look into all this drug reference and things like that?
Yeah, they really did.
They really did. And welcome, Adrian. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Thank you.
And I'm glad they did. They should look at every day.
For sure. For sure.
I think because these like reports are showing that these things were looked into, so people are trying to find validity of it, even though Bryan just pled guilty.
Right.
But
I don't think you need to read that. This is just they saved USB storage pertinent. That's it.
okay.
I don't want to waste on like a quick nothing, you know?
Yeah, it was like the Civil Rights Institution or something.
Yeah, it's just saving USB.
All right, John Rosinski. So on 11/23/2022, Agent Alex Skelton.
Oh, it's the same thing. Okay.
With the FBI required files to be picked up from the Office of Civil Rights, which coincided with the other report of investigations, OCRI. Skelton provided me with the 2 thumb drives, H&P Sans disk. I transported those. I met with LE, Deputy Director of OCRI. He downloaded those files for me. Once complete, he gave the thumb drives. I transported them to MPD. I returned both drives to Agent Skelton. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. What's this? November 18th, I met with Moscow Police Department Property Coordinator, TS. S released the following items of evidence to me. 22M, okay. So I then transported those items of evidence to Meridian, Idaho, where I turned them over to the Idaho State Policeman Forensic Services.
Yeah, that's where their lab is.
Okay.
Oh, next one's eBay warrant.
Let's see.
So Detective Lawrence Vowry, he was going to get an eBay sales warrant. So on November 26, 2022, I requested and was granted a warrant for eBay for the sale of the following items between January 1st, 2022 to present. And it has the ASIN numbers for the K-Bar full-size U.S. Marine Corps fighting knife, along with the leather sheath with the USMC logo. On the same date at approximately 1907 hours, I logged into the eBay law enforcement e-request system, requested those, and then on November 8th at approximately 11:05 hours, I received an email from eBay stating the files are ready to download. I logged into the portal, downloaded the files, and examining the files, eBay showed no, which means zero purchases for the ASIN blank 4938 K-Bar full-size U.S. Marine Corps fighting knife. However, in examining the files, eBay showed several user IDs associated with the sale of the leather sheath with the USMC logo. And most of them were based out of US and various states, and one out of Japan. Says no subscriber information, IP addresses, addresses, I can't talk. Payment information or customer records were provided. As these user IDs are associated with the knife sheath purchased before or after November 13, 2022, I am requesting the assistance of the Latah County Prosecutor's Office to apply for a warrant for the following account information for the above named eBay user IDs, subscriber information to include their contact information, billing information, etc. The ordering details and purchase history for all transactions on this website. I'm just kind of skimming through this. Payment information as well. And so basically, I completed the warrant return receipt and affidavit. These documents were sent to the Latah County PD office to be returned to the court. Also signed a copy of the receipt to eBay, as this was the original email address with the documents. That's it.
Okay, let's see. Router interrogation.
I think we get like a slew of warrants and then it gets back to other stuff.
Okay, this is attempting to interrogate the wireless router located at this residence. After speaking with Corporal Payne, he informed me the wireless router and cable modem were located in the living room on the second floor. I used an Ethernet cable to connect my laptop to the local area. I attempted to locate a web-based management portal, but was prompted to download the Spectrum app and use the account username and password. I contacted Spectrum and found this was the only way for the client to access the data on the device. Then called Charter Law Enforcement Response Team and spoke with a representative and tried to ascertain if Charter Spectrum could retrieve data for the router via their diagnostic portal. After several days and phone calls to Charter, I spoke with TD, the manager of the Legal Response Operations Center. D stated her team was working on verifying if the router hardware was able to be accessed. November 17th, called Charter again and left a voicemail. D returned my call and stated her technicians were able to access and download the data from the router. However, they did not preserve the correct time frame specified in my request. I was told she would have her technicians retry and preserve the data. He called Charter again, left another voicemail, received a call back, stated the technicians were able to retrieve the data for the time periods of September 14th, 2022 to November 7th, 2022, and then November 11th to November 14th, 2022. I was informed there was a problem with their cloud services, and that resulted in the data loss for November 8th to 10th. I informed D I would be applying for a warrant and requesting the data with the legal process. From my training and experience, I know wireless routers allow wireless devices, phones, tablets, laptops to connect to them for access to the internet or other devices on the local area network. During this process, after a device has successfully connected to the wireless router, a log of this connection and the specific MAC addresses of each device is kept on the device. If a user previously selected the connect automatically setting while connecting to the wireless router, which is a common default setting. The device will connect to the router automatically without any user input. These devices would have to be in close proximity of the router to be shown on the MAC address log. Do you remember a long time ago we had a live about this? And if it could, after Steve said it was close enough to touch,
Yes.
with what's her name on our panel, like we had a long discussion about this.
Was it Sleuthy?
No, it wasn't Sleuthy. It was, oh my gosh, who was it? Crap, it's gonna come to me. It'll come to me. Okay. So I requested the assistance of the Lehigh County Prosecutor's Office in applying for a warrant to serve on charter for the data preserved. November 21st, I was granted the warrant. November 22nd, I received an email from M stating the files were ready to download. I completed the warrant, returned receipt and affidavit. Documents were sent. Emailed the copy of the receipt to charter, as this was the originating email address associated with the documents. Who was it? Fuck. What's her name?
Was it Lady B?
No.
I don't remember.
No. And I have her image in my mind, and my brain's just not working at the moment. It'll hit me, though. Is this... Oh, this is all just warrant stuff?
Yeah, but... okay, yeah. So Lawrence Mowry...
necessary to go through it, or does it contain anything?
Yeah, I think it says the Jack DuCoeur's phone. So November 17th, Jack DuCoeur was interviewed by Sergeant Mike Van Levin from the Idaho State Police, the ISP District 1 office at that time. He provided his phone to Sergeant Van Levin along with consent to search the phone. That phone is iPhone XR with IMEI, transported to Coeur d'Alene Police Department Forensic Lab. The phone was to be extracted by Detective Dustin Taylor and of the Coeur d'Alene Police Department. Detective Mike Van Levin had taken the phone to Dustin Taylor at the Computer Forensic Lab at Coeur d'Alene. I emailed a copy of the warrant to him at 16:43 hours on November 17th. On November 18th, while confirming Detective Taylor received the warrant, I was informed the phone was no longer at Coeur d'Alene. ISP Lieutenant Paul Berger picked up the phone from Taylor and delivered it to the Spokane County Sheriff's Office, where investigative analyst VJ received it. The data on the phone was forensically extracted at that location. On November 19th, ISP Police Detective Richardson retrieved the phone from the forensic lab, delivered it to DuCoeur's mother, per the attorney's wishes. On November 21st, Detective Anderson of the ISP provided Sergeant Levin with the USB drive containing extraction, and then the USB drive was given to me and it was placed into the secure forensic lab at the Moscow PD. So that's just for Jack's phone.
Hi, Andrea.
Hello. Ooh, initial interview of Dylan.
Oh, is that next one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you'll want this one.
So this is, yep, initial interview, detention. Why, when you start to read so much and talk so much, your mouth all of a sudden doesn't work anymore? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do too. Or my brain, like, I'm thinking faster than I'm talking, you know?
Yeah, sometimes I'll read ahead with my eyes while I'm still reading like a sentence behind, and then it'll really mess you up.
It's because you're a superhero.
So it says, on November 13, 2022, I was directed to interview potential witnesses in regards to the incidents at 11:22. So the following interviews were conducted. Interview 1, Dylan Mortensen. November 13th, Dylan was interviewed in regard to the homicide investigation at 1122 King Road. Dylan said she was a resident of the house where the incident occurred. Dylan said she was at Redacted's party at around 10:30 hours on the 12th, where she was drinking. Dylan said she went to quote house. Dylan said she believed she arrived home between 30 hours and 1 a.m. So like 12:30, 1 a.m. on 11:13. Dylan said she thought Bethany arrived home around 20 minutes after she arrived. Dylan stated she believed Maddie and Kaylee arrived home around 1:30 or 2 a.m. on November 13th. Dylan said, up to this, nothing weird had happened during the night. Dylan said she and her friend Elle came home, followed by Bethany, from Redacted's house. Dylan said Elle lived at the Redacted house and Bethany was her roommate at the residence. Oh, okay. Dylan said when Maddie and Kaylee came home from the corner club at the same time, everyone went to bed. Dylan was asked about the layout of her house. Dylan said Kaylee's room was directly above her room. Dylan said she lived on the second floor and Kaylee lived on the third floor. Dylan said Kaylee and Maddie both live upstairs on the third floor in separate rooms. Dylan said Xana lived closest to the bathroom on the second floor and Bethany lived on the first floor. When asked about Murphy, Dylan said it was a dog owned in common between Kaylee and her ex-boyfriend, Jack. D said there was no apparent issues between Kaylee and Jack. D said Maddie and her boyfriend, named Jake, who was in Boise at the time of the incident. Dylan indicated Xana was dating Ethan, who was in the room with her at the time of the incident. Dylan did not know of anyone who would want to hurt Ethan when she was asked. Dylan was asked if she saw any cars in the area that should not be there. Dylan said, no, I was not really looking at that. Dylan said she woke up at around 4 a.m. on the 13th where she could hear Kaylee and Murphy, the dog, dancing. Okay, sorry. Already hear, you could hear with H-E-R-E. But
Yeah.
Kaylee, it threw me off, honestly. Kaylee and Murphy, the dog, dancing, which we've heard that from the beginning, what she believed was Kaylee and the dog playing, but dancing, okay.
Well, I think of that little video. Remember, she has Murphy and she's dancing with his paws. Maybe that was something she did with them a lot when she
Yeah.
was playing with them, Because I used to dance. I used to have this thing with my dog Bear. I would go dance and he would put his arms or his little arms on my hips and you would dance around.
Bear was so cute.
It's cute.
Yeah. Okay. So Dylan said she knew it was Kaylee because she recognized her voice and could hear Murphy barking. Dylan said she heard Kaylee go upstairs and say, there is someone here. Dylan said she thought she heard Kaylee run back down the stairs. Dylan said Kaylee sounded scared when she made this statement. Okay, now I really believe Xana went upstairs.
Yeah, it's interesting. Because she says that she recognized Kaylee's voice pretty distinctly.
But you
but
know
what I
what?
remember,
Your brain goes to what makes sense. And what would usually make sense is, oh, it's Kaylee and Murphy playing, the dog's barking and going upstairs. I think her brain equated it to something that made sense to her.
for sure. And I was going to say, in my opinion, from hearing the voices of Xana and Kaylee, they both kind of have a little bit of a rasp in their voice.
Maybe a little bit, yeah. I think
Yeah.
it's what her brain logically went to.
Mm-hmm.
So Dylan said at this time, she jumped up, locked the door because she did not know what else to do. Dylan said she called out Kaylee's name and did not indicate if she got a response. Dylan said she then tried to call Kaylee, Xana, and Maddie on their phones. Oh, they're skipping parts here. Okay. Dylan was asked if she saw anyone come downstairs or heard anything. Dylan said, no, I don't even know how they got in. We're usually pretty good at locking the doors and never had problems before. I was just really random.
It was.
Yeah. When asked again about the series of events, Dylan said she opened the door when she cried out to Kaylee, then closed the door because she was scared. Dylan said she then opened the door again and heard who she thought was Kaylee, but could have been Xana, crying in the bathroom, which would be coming right from Xana's room.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan said she then heard a man's voice say, it's okay, I'm going to help you. Dylan said it was weird because the statement was not in a nice way, and the voice was one she had never heard before.
I wonder what that tone sounded like, the way
Yeah.
she said it wasn't in a nice way.
Wow. Okay. Dylan said she called out to Kaylee again, and there was no crying after that, and she did not know what happened after that. Dylan said she opened the door again, and the guy is right there. Dylan described the male as approximately her height, 5'10" or a few inches taller. Not skinny, but athletic build. Dylan said the suspect was wearing all black with masks, plural, but this guy also is illiterate, with masks that covered just his forehead and goes around his face. Dylan showed with her hands the mask exposed his nose but covered the mouth area. Dylan said she believed the suspect was white but did not remember eyebrow color or what his eyes looked like. Dylan said when she saw the suspect, he saw her and just left. Shay, finally. Finally. I knew he fucking saw her. But what I'm more thrown about is her verbally calling out the names.
I know.
That
was new to me.
Yeah, that's new. So he saw her and just left. Dylan said she believed he was holding something near his stomach or belt line. Dylan used both hands to point straight out from the abdomen. Dylan then moved her hands apart and back together to simulate a bulge. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan said this area was black in color and she thought now maybe it was a gun. Dylan said the unknown object had an arrow shape. Dylan seemed really unsure and said she was tired during the event. Okay, so hold on. And thank you, MK. That's so kind of you. Welcome our new members. Please make sure you thank MK if you got one of those. Okay. And I need to pause for a second. I need to back up a little bit.
It's a lot to process.
Yes.
Even hearing this again, seeing that I missed parts when I was reading it myself.
Yeah, Harlot, I do. You're right. And they tend to be based off truths, and so it may have got twisted a bit, but okay. So he was holding something near his stomach or belt line, which means both of his hands would have been in that area too, not just something was attached,
Mm-hmm.
She used both of her hands to point straight out from her abdomen, which what would be protruding out like that?
Like, what if he had something I was trying to think about that. If it's I think it would.
Something was attached to a belt line, Shay.
If it said it was attached to a belt line, which I don't think the Dickie stuff does, then why would the sheath not be with him?
Well,
unless he's just holding the knife out in front of him and trying to get the hell out.
Maybe. So she simulates a bulge and said it was a black in color, and now maybe it was a gun. It was an arrow shape, which, okay, if you think about the K-bar, honestly, that kind of makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so go ahead.
All right, you want me to read?
No, I thought you had something to say.
No, I don't. I'm thinking like you are. I was thinking, like, what if it was wrapped in something, but then maybe that arrow shape wouldn't be defined. So maybe she really just didn't know what she was seeing.
It says, I'm sorry, I just kind of have to see what else it says. My brain's like right now.
You're like, what?
Dylan was asked how long she believed it was from the time Kaylee said someone is here to when she saw the suspect. Dylan said she thought it was about 10 or 20 minutes, which would be accurate. Dylan went on to say she was in and out of it, and she did not fully remember the incident. Dylan was asked where the suspect was in the residence when Dylan saw him. Dylan said the suspect was between her bedroom door and the kitchen. Dylan said she remembered watching the suspect go out the kitchen door and leave. Dylan said at this time, she closed her door and locked it as fast as she could. Dylan said the suspect did not walk towards her or say anything. Dylan said once the suspect left, she immediately called Bethany. Dylan said Bethany informed her she heard a sound that sounded like a firework. Oh, what happened here? Okay.
But what if something was knocked over in Xana's room?
Oh, for sure that's possible, but the light under her door makes no sense unless a light got knocked out.
Yeah, because they mentioned some point that some of Xana's furniture looked a little bit disheveled, like where things should be. And like maybe it wasn't seeing a flash of light, it was just hearing something like loud like a boom. Maybe there's a misinterpretation.
I don't know. I don't know. If it woke her up, right, Harlot? Maybe at ATS. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I never thought a bulb broke. I was seeing like a circuit where it doesn't break, like it pops, like
Yeah,
you
like a
can hear
pop,
like a,
blow a light.
yeah.
Kim heard, yeah, heard a loud thud, but and I could equate a loud popping noise to many things in that scenario. One, we
But
don't know when it happened, but a flash under her door and waking her up from sleep is throwing me off.
the loud boom is the thud. It's got to
Maybe,
be the
but
thud
what
because
would
that
be,
thud is heard
you know
outside.
what? I wonder if there was any inside light on in that hallway at all. And when the thud happened against the ground, it would have shook the ceiling of Bethany and maybe created an illusion of like a thump, and with
Well,
the
that is,
sound, it kind of, you know what I mean?
yeah, but Bethany's room was right underneath the living room. Xana,
Right. But I'm saying if there was a hallway light at all that was
oh,
on downstairs, it would have been hitting the ceiling, which would be where the light was.
okay. But, huh. So, okay, so this is one thing I noticed out of this. The way she said that he walked by her, it's different than everybody imagined because everyone thought he was walking from the hallway and she sees him, but it sounds like he was already in front of her door and
Yeah.
walking out. Like, so she maybe only saw his,
Well,
huh.
no.
Because a lot of interpretations people had, it looked like they gave it a
Between
prolonged
her
thing, like
bedroom door
Dylan.
and the kitchen. Okay. Yeah, but I still think that might be that doorway, like that door.
Definitely the
Yeah.
doorway, but not as long as the walk from the living room to that. It sounds like he was already at
Yeah,
her
like about
little
to make that
landing.
pivot.
Right.
Yeah, at the landing. Yeah. Enough time to see her still. Okay. So Bethany informed her she heard a sound that sounded like a firework. Dylan then said she told Bethany she called everyone and they are not answering. Dylan said she was in and out of it and believed everyone was just asleep. Dylan said she then went to Bethany's room, locked the door, and went to bed. Dylan said she woke up at around 11 or 12 hours. See, this is where the problem's going to keep being, Shay. It wasn't 11 or 12 hours. Like, what? Why would that be in, like, I'm not jumping here, but that is not accurate at all.
Mm-hmm.
At all.
I know this is where I go back to like wanting to see a different side if they mean like get out of bed versus, I don't know. It's weird. The
Okay.
terminology.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So she woke up around 11 or 12 hours and called her roommates and no one answered. Dylan said she called Hunter. Hunter came to the residence, went upstairs, and told Dylan they needed to call law enforcement immediately. Dylan was asked if there was anything else she wanted to share. Dylan said the noise Bethany described the noise was a loud boom. So that would be that thud. But Dylan did not hear it, most likely. The struggle, for sure. Dylan was asked if any of her roommates shared any weird experiences in the last couple of weeks, calls, texts. Dylan said no. It's been all normal. Nothing weird at all. Nothing really weird happens in Moscow usually. When asked if there were any altercations at the redacted party, Dylan said no, everything was normal. Dylan mentioned again she was with Dee and Xana at the party. Dylan was asked if anyone was having sexual relations with anyone they shouldn't be. Dylan said no. Dylan brought up an incident which occurred about a month prior. Dylan said she and Bethany remembered Kaylee saw a shadow while she was taking Murphy outside. God, what is up with... Dylan said Kaylee also mentioned when she was at Redacted 2 or 3 weeks prior, an individual was following her. Dylan also said she arrived home on time and the door to the the door to the residence at 1122 King Road was found open. Again, okay. Dylan said she did not believe the slider was locked the night of the 12th. Dylan said she heard Murphy barking a lot around 4 a.m. when Kaylee went upstairs. Dylan said she heard Murphy go outside barking as well. Dylan was unsure if Murphy would chase a suspect outside. Dylan said she did not remember if the suspect who ran left the slider door open.
Hmm.
All right, you want to read interview 2?
Yeah. So interview 2, this is with Hunter Johnson. Hunter said around 1200 hours on 11/13, Dylan called Emily, Hunter's girlfriend. Dylan told Emily she thought something was not right in her house. Dylan also told Emily she heard or saw a man in her house the night prior. Dylan asked Emily and Hunter to come over and make sure everything was okay because she locked herself in Bethany's room. Hunter said he was the first person to get to the residence. Hunter said he entered the code to the front door where Bethany and Dylan were in Bethany's room on the first floor.
How was it closed now? Shay?
I know, that's weird. It's a weird thing where somebody else said the door was open.
Is there anything else that we know of besides that one guy's account of that front door being open?
I think that there was some news media about it, but I think they interviewed that guy.
That guy.
Yeah.
Is it
Okay.
possible he was talking about the slider?
I've wondered that, but the way they make it sound in the report, like it's the bottom floor.
I know, but if there's nothing else that says that, that makes no sense.
I know, it's wild.
Okay.
Okay, so he said he entered the code to the front door where Bethany and Dylan were in Bethany's room on the first floor. Dylan and Bethany were telling Hunter they did not know what was going on. Hunter said he went up the
Wait a
stairs.
second. Hold on. Sorry. Don't mean to interrupt you. They were
You scared
already
the shit out of me.
outside when Hunter got there. Or Emily said Hunter was ahead of them. But when Emily and Josie got there,
The girls were
already outside. So unless he entered before they got outside, it's not really making sense.
Remember that Dylan and Bethany went up the stairs and he told them to go down. And so when they go down, that's when Emily and Josie are walking up.
Okay.
Okay, so Hunter said he went up the stairs and immediately went into Xana's room. Hunter said this was the only room he went into. He said when he approached the door, it was only partially open. Hunter said when he opened it, he saw Xana and Ethan. Hunter said he initially did not realize all the blood was dry blood in the room. He said he thought at first they had been drunk and left a mess. Hunter said when he stood there for a moment, he began to realize what he was seeing. Hunter said Bethany and Dylan were uncontrollably crying. Hunter said he told them to get out of the house and call law enforcement. Hunter said he then went into the kitchen and grabbed a knife from the drawer. He said that he went into the room and checked the closet to make sure there was not anyone in the room. Hunter said he checked for a pulse on both
What?
Xana and Ethan.
Oh.
Hunter said both of the bodies had rigor mortis and were cold with no breath or pulse. He said he believed the two had been deceased for a while. Hunter said he believed he left the knife on the folding table in the living room. He said that
You cut out, Shay. Shay. Yeah, she did, or her headphones died. Something. Okay, she's back.
sorry. I don't know
No,
why it
you're
got me
okay.
out.
You're okay.
You want me to pick back up?
Yeah.
Okay. So Hunter said he left the knife on the folding table. He said that Emily, Josie, and Elle started to enter the house and come up the stairs. So we know, I think at this point, I think Josie has the phone, right? Hunter told him to get out of the residence. Hunter said this was about the time Moscow PD arrived on scene. Hunter said the officer told him to stay where he was at. Hunter said he did not know if anyone else was upstairs as he had not gone anywhere else in the house. Hunter said he had trouble comprehending what he was seeing. Oh, poor guy. He said he was not at the blank party the night prior. He said that he and Ethan were texting by phone. That he was asking, basically, Ethan was asking him to come over, but Hunter chose not to. Hunter said he knew Ethan since fall of 2021, that he was in a different fraternity than Ethan, basically. Hunter said that Josie and Emily were in the same sorority and were roommates. Hunter said Elle, who was also present, was in the fraternity. So that is, I think, Josie's boyfriend, and was currently dating Josie. Yeah. So Hunter said he and Elle stayed at Josie's apartment with Emily and Josie the night of 11/12. He was asked when was the last time he was at King Road. He indicated he was last at the residence on November 12th, where he was pre-gaming for the Vandals football game, in quotes. Hunter said he got to the residence at around 1200 hours or 1300 hours and left at about 1430 hours to go to a different party. He said the last time he saw Ethan was at 1122 King Road. That was Friday, 11/11. He did not know of anyone who had issues with Ethan and Xana dating. Hunter estimated Xana and Ethan were dating for about 8 months and that he knew Xana very well through his girlfriend, Emily. Hunter said he was not very familiar with Maddie or Kaylee. Hunter allowed pictures to be taken of his phone of the conversations between him and Ethan. And then interview 3 is Josie. You want me to do this one or you want to do it?
I could do it. Josie says that she texted Bethany at 11:20 hours on the morning of the 13th. Josie asked Bethany if she was awake. Josie said Bethany called her back at 11:49 hours. Bethany told Josie that she and Dylan were in Bethany's bedroom. Josie said Bethany was freaked out because her roommates were not answering the phone. Josie said she heard Dylan on the phone in the background saying, "I saw something." Josie said Bethany asked her to come over to 1122 King Road and pick her up. Josie said Bethany texted her while she was driving there and said Ethan and Hunter were on their way as well. No, I'm sorry, Emily and Hunter. I'm sorry, so sorry. Emily and Hunter were on their way as well. So Josie said she arrived, MPD units were arriving as well. No, this isn't. No, this is Jack. Wait, no, this isn't Jack. Is this Josie? That doesn't make any sense if that's Josie.
JM?
Yeah. She arrived with Emily.
What is this, Jen McClure?
It doesn't make sense if it's Josie because Josie arrived with Emily prior to MPD. Prior to 911.
I think Bethany was texting, is it McClure? Maybe it was her boyfriend's sister or something.
I don't know. Because they wouldn't be driving there anyway. Sorry, I'm just trying because I want to know who it is. Jay said Bethany asked her to come over to 1122 and pick her up. Come pick me up, Bethany said. Jay said Bethany texted her while she was driving there. Yeah, this isn't Josie.
This is Jim McClure. Sorry.
Okay.
I got it wrong.
No, you're fine. So Jen said Bethany texted her while she was driving there and said Emily and Hunter were on their way as well. Jen said she arrived. MPD units were arriving as well. Jen said she did not go to the redacted party, but went to a different one instead. Jay said Bethany and Dylan came to this other party after she left. Jen estimated Dylan left her party at 0:30 hours and Bethany left her party at about 1 a.m. Jen said she was in redacted with Dylan. Elle, Bethany, and Xana. Jen said Xana and Maddie were both in redacted, but they dropped out, and Kaylee was in redacted, but dropped as well. I think that's it. Jen suspected they girls dropped their respective sororities because of issues with other girls in the houses. Jen specifically cited girls on the executive board who tell other members what to do. Jen suspected this was what they did not like. Jen confirmed she, Elle, Bethany, and Dylan were still active members and said the girls who were still active members of the sorority who chose to not live in the house did so because of money issues. Jen said Maddie was Bethany's big sister in the sorority house. Jen said she knew Kaylee saw a dark figure staring at her from the tree line when she took her dog Murphy out to pee. That's freaky. Jen said this occurred about a month ago at 1122 King Road. Jen said that there had been lighthearted talk and jokes made about a stalker in the past. Jen said all the girls were slightly nervous about it being a fact, though. Jen did not indicate any social media issues or issues between the girls who lived together. Jen said there was no issue with girls from the redacted sorority and the residents at 1122 King. Jen said the front door had issues with locking, and sometimes it could be opened without a code. Jen said she did not know the code to the front door. Jen said she was unsure if the residents kept the back sliding door locked regularly.
I think it's Jenna. Sorry, I think I was shortening it to Jen.
That's okay.
It's my bad.
Oh, you're
But
fine.
we call her Jen.
Jen. Okay, makes sense.
But yeah, that was definitely Bethany's boyfriend's sister.
Yeah.
So they were close.
That makes sense. Yeah. LB, and this L is the one who was with Dylan the night of, I guess, who was watching TV with her. You could go.
Oh, sorry.
You
Interview
right? No, you're
yes. LB. Elle said she. Sorry, Else. Oh, no. LB is not the one that was watching a show with Dylan. This is the boyfriend.
I thought. Oh, is it another
Josie? Elle? This is the boyfriend of Josie. Remember when Hunter said that him and this guy, they were both staying with their girlfriends or whatever?
Yes.
Okay, so Elle said he did not go to the blank party. Elle said he went to sleep at 2000 hours on 1112 at Josie's apartment on Taylor Avenue. Elle said he woke up around 200 hours. Elle said he, Josie, and Emily were up talking in the living room of the apartment until 500 hours on 1113. Elle indicated Hunter was present but not awake during this time. Elle said they all went to bed. I guess he rewrote it the same words. It's weird. They all went to bed at this time and woke up again around what he thought was 900 hours. Elle said Hunter and Emily came into the room where he and Josie were. Elle said Dylan had called Emily around 1000 hours and sounded scared. Elle said Dylan told Emily someone had been in her house last night. Elle said Dylan and Bethany ran downstairs and locked themselves in a room, and that Dylan informed them she did this because of her seeing someone in the house, and Dylan could only see his nose and his chin. Okay. Elle said Dylan was freaking out and wanted them to come over to 1122 King Road, that he walked with Emily and Josie to King Road from Josie's apartment on Taylor Avenue. Elle said Dylan and Bethany walked out of the house crying and said that Hunter arrived at the residence first because he left before them, and that he went into the downstairs door. And Hunter told him not to come up the stairs, that he did not know Ethan. Elle said he didn't know Ethan very well, and he did not recall any talk between Xana and Josie about boy issues. Elle said he did not see anything on social media, and he recalled an incident from about a month prior where Dylan said there was a guy stalking her. Elle said he did not hear anything from the night prior. That's all Detective Mowry's interviews.
I know that like these reports are going to be a little bit all over the place because there's so many names and there's so many I get that. But what I don't get is it shouldn't be from the witnesses' perspectives. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
there's a couple of things so far. And again, I don't even feel like I could acknowledge the things that are making me go, oh, hold on a second. And just acknowledging them doesn't mean that there isn't a reasonable explanation, but I can't even acknowledge it because there are so many people who are so insanely convinced that these girls have done something, and there's a whole big conspiracy that it makes me feel uncomfortable to even say, oh, that's weird, like I don't like that, without it going down a whole fucking rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And I love rabbit holes, Shay, but it's way too far. It's way too far.
I do love a good rabbit hole. I think it's interesting trying to read it and catch up, but also try to retain the information so later we can see what we can make of it, because there's a lot to kind of come through.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
The next one's the eBay user warrant.
Is there anything within it that we need? No.
It's a lead. Yeah, it's a lead.
Okay, yeah. Never mind. Okay.
It's not like this standard. I'm just pulling this.
So the eBay user warrant, this was on the 29th of November. I found I had received 2 emails from Snapchat dated November 28th, 2022 at approximately 1700 hours. These emails provided links to download the data requested pursuant to the 2 warrants served on Snap on the 21st. The files were downloaded and saved onto a computer located in the secure computer forensic lab located at the MPD. In examining the files, I located the user ID, redacted, who showed subscriber information of WRP, born 1967. The data showed R purchased a K-bar USMC brown leather knife sheath for 7-inch blades, Marine number 1217s, on August 14, 2022 at 3:29 hours. I located 2 younger males associated with R and TLO. I found TLO to be generally reliable in previous investigations. Those males appear to be R's sons, TP, KP. In reviewing R's eBay account, it appears he purchases and sells military memorabilia and equipment. I informed Sergeant Dustin Blaker of all this information for follow-up. I completed the warrant return receipt and affidavit. These documents were sent to the Leda County Prosecutor's Office. I also emailed a copy of the receipt to eBay, as this was the original email address associated with the documents. They were doing their due diligence.
Yeah, they were.
Okay. We have Maori and Snapchat warrants again.
All right. On November 21st, 2022, I requested and was granted a warrant for Snap Inc., Snapchat, for the accounts associated with the following identifiers: Kaylee, JD, DM, BF, on November 21st, 2022 at approximately 18:27 hours. I logged into Snap Inc. law enforcement portal and served the warrants. I received an email from Snapchat providing me with the internal case ID number and case ID. On November 28, 2022, Snap sent 2 emails stating the files were ready to download. And then on the same date, I logged into the portal and downloaded the files provided pursuant to the warrant. These files were downloaded to a computer in the second computer forensic lab at MPD. An examination of the data will be conducted at my earliest convenience. I completed the warrant return receipt and affidavit. These documents were sent to Latah County Prosecutor's Office to be returned to the court. Also emailed a copy of the receipt to Snapchat, as this was the originating email address associated with the documents. Yeah, Bowery is on a lot of stuff. Cell phone warrants.
Yes, he is. So we have Detective Mary again. And we have a cell phone warrant. November 17, 2022, I began to receive data from the cell phone providers in response to the warrants. Received an email from SF Notifications informing me the files from Verizon, records, and Tower Dump were ready to be downloaded. I logged into ShareFile. I completed the warrant return receipt affidavit, documents sent to Leda. Returned to the court. I also emailed a copy. Okay. So I received an email from RB of Inland Cellular. There's that Inland Cellular. This email included files containing the data requesting regarding the tower dump data. Completed the warrant. Documents were sent. Approximately 15:30 hours, received an email for AT&T. Those were ready. Completed the warrant. Emailed a copy of AT&T. It's all just very repetitive. T-Mobile, same thing. There's nothing
Bada bing, bada
additional
boom.
in it. Yeah, there's nothing additional. There's no point in reading every line with that. Let's see. We have another. Yeah, I get like excited and then I'm like, oh, it's another one.
A T-Mobile amended warrant by Detective Mowry on November 26. A request was granted a tower dump to include devices within a 2-mile radius. The original warrant included only 0.5 miles. On November 26, at approximately 20:59, the warrant was served, and then everything was returned. So that's pretty much it.
All important, but you know, they're the interesting ones. Witness phone.
It's like we want to see the warrants like not redacted from the court.
Yeah. Yes, we do. November 13th, I was directed to interview potential witnesses in regards to the incidents. During this process, I was tasked with extracting data from Dylan, Bethany, Jack DuCoeur, Emily Allant, Maisie Chapin, their phones. Shay's like, yep, you did good.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Yeah. It gets confusing sometimes. There's a lot of names. So I received signed consent forms from Maisie, Dylan,
No. These are last names.
Oh,
Mortensen,
there you go.
DuCoeur, Allant,
Allant,
and Chapin.
I was informed by Corporal Brett. My mouth is doing it. Corporal Brett Payne. Funk provided verbal consent for her phone to be extracted. The phones were extracted using forensic software, Cellbrite. Upon completion of the extractions, phone were returned to their owners as promptly as possible. Data extracted was saved to a computer located in the secure forensic computer lab unit of the MPD. Forensic examination of the phones will be completed at my earliest convenience.
Nice.
Sorry, I hiccups.
All right.
Vehicle booking. Oh,
Okay.
we're about to be done with this little folder.
Yep. Detective Aaron Morris. I actually think the next folder gets more interesting.
Are you around tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yes? Because I'm not around Wednesday night. I'm around Thursday and Friday. I'll be around tomorrow, just not Wednesday night. I won't be around.
Yeah, I could do tomorrow for like
tomorrow.
Yeah, I could do like a couple hours tomorrow.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
We could start a new folder tomorrow.
Yes. All right. So Detective Aaron Morris, this is a vehicle center stack booking. The evidence is a Ford Center and a Chevy Center stack. On 11/30/2022, I assisted the FBI with removing the center stacks from Ethan Chapin's Ford Explorer and Madison Mogen Chevy Cruze. Once the center stacks were removed, I booked them into the Moscow PD as evidence. I photographed the serial numbers and attached them to the case. That's it.
That's it. Okay. All right. Yeah, it would, Harlot. Okay. Are you telling me the last few are just all warrants? Okay. You know I can't end on a warrant. Like I can't. So November 18th, I applied for and was granted warrants for the iCloud accounts for the following identifiers. We have a Yahoo, an iCloud, a Yahoo, then Kaylee's, Gmail's. Those warrants were served via email at apple.com. Received email from Apple stating their iCloud accounts associated with Kaylee's. No, I'm sorry, not Kaylee's. With the Yahoos were available to download. Downloaded the links to the files and began downloading. Received an email from Apple for the iCloud account available to download. 23rd, Apple account with the Gmails.
It's kind of repetitive.
Yep. Okay. It's they got it. They downloaded it. They sent the corresponding paperwork.
We're not like leaving on that note, are we?
No. Oh, trust me, I'll find a decent one. I'll open the next folder if I have to.
Okay.
This last one in this folder.
This one's Justin Dean.
Justin.
He's picked up 3 cell phones and a hard drive from Walla Walla PD. So November 29th, I was asked to pick up 3 cell phones and a hard drive from Detective Chris Ruchert of the Walla Walla Police Department. I met with Detective Ruchert at approximately 11:15 hours and took possession of the 4 items. And I think Walla Walla is in Washington. I checked that because I was like, that's an interesting name.
Walla Walla.
Yeah, I drove back to the Moscow PD department where I handed these items to Detective Lawrence Mallory. So that was it. But I remember getting into the next folder. I didn't get as far as I wanted. That I was starting to read them aloud to my husband, and he was like, I want to know more.
Well, tell him, Mr. Shea Bonet, you're not allowed to read that far ahead. I'll give you a couple of pages, but you're not allowed to read farther than that, okay? Because we got to do this together.
I know. I haven't looked at him like in a day or so, so I was like, I gotta stop. Oh, Samantha gifted memberships.
Thank you, Samantha, so much. That was very kind of you. Welcome our new members. And yeah, I saw someone say, I didn't realize it was Members Only Monday. I was wondering why nobody's chatting. Yes, it's Members Only Monday. Thank you.
Oh, I forgot too.
Yes. I forgot too. Because usually I'll say, thank you all for being here for the Members Only Monday. I didn't. I was talking about Milk Duds, and I wasn't even intentionally talking about Milk Duds. I meant to talk about Raisinets, but it just shows where our minds are at. Okay.
You're fine.
Okay, so we have an initial scene response. Ooh, okay. So evidence collected, foot cast. There was something with, okay, foot cast, like a footprint that was casted. Like they took an initial footprint. Was it with the one in the snow? Maybe.
Or maybe it's an actual cast when somebody broke their foot.
Oh.
Like maybe that was used as a weapon. I don't know.
I thought it would like pour something into a footprint and cast it.
I don't know. I'd like to know what that means.
I would, yeah, please. Someone far more educated than us, let us know.
No, maybe you are right because fingerprint lift is underneath it.
Yeah.
But then there's other normal items. That's why I'm confused.
Yeah. Like maybe a literal cast. I don't know. Yeah, like okay. I was thinking a mold, right, C. Carter?
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, poor Linda. All right, so
hey,
we
Desiree.
have a hi. We have a foot cast. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fingerprint lifts. Cell phone, laptop, knife sheath, white blanket, blue phone, vape pen, fingerprint lift, steak knife, blood swabs, disposable camera, laptop, latex gloves, laptop, iPad, bedding packaging, game bags. So at approximately 1600 hours on the 13th, Sergeant Blaker and I responded to 1122 King Road to assist with scene security processing. Upon our arrival, the ISP forensic team was on scene and was preparing to begin processing the scene. Officer Smith, one of the initial responding officers of the incident, advised he would walk me through the scene. Officer Smith and I entered 1122 King Road through the bottom floor door on the north side of the building. Upon entering, I observed a small bedroom on the west side of the bottom floor. The door was ajar, and I could see a bed with covers and several other miscellaneous personnel items strewn about. The room did not appear to have been occupied by anyone, as I did not see any clothes inside. I followed Officer Smith down the hall where there was another small bedroom. Where there was a small bathroom. Next to the small bathroom to the east was what I later learned was a utility closet. This closet had a pin code style lock and was secured. I looked into the bedroom on the east end of the bottom floor, which I later learned belonged to Bethany Funk. The room had normal clothes and personal items about, but otherwise did not seem out of the ordinary. Officer Smith and I then walked upstairs to the second floor. The stairs ended in a small living room. There was a sectional style couch along the east and south wall of the room. There was also a small TV in a void on the northeast corner of the room. I also saw a black backpack on the floor just east of the top of the stairs. Officer Smith then directed me down the hallway to the west bedroom on the second floor, which I later learned was Xana Kernodle's room. Just before this room, there was a bathroom door on the south wall of the hallway. As I approached the room, I could see a body, later identified as Kernodle's, laying on the floor. Kernodle was laying on her back with her feet facing the east and her head facing the west. Kernodle had thong-type underwear on and a gray sweatshirt. There was a large amount of blood on the floor around Kernodle as well. I could see numerous wounds on Kernodle's arms, hands, and face, which appeared to have been caused by an edged weapon. Just next to Kernodle on the west wall was a small white nightstand, which appeared to have been moved.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to tell you. They said something about something being disheveled. I couldn't remember what it was.
There was a struggle. Yeah. It appeared to have been moved as it was pushed against the wall at an odd angle. There was blood on this nightstand in various locations. Yeah, that makes sense.
And I think that's what we saw, something being loaded in, because
Yes,
people
it
were wondering if that was her desk, and people were
Yep.
saying, no, that's not what her desk looked like. Because they were trying to compare the bottom feet of it, and it didn't match the desk. So that makes sense. I think it was this nightstand.
I think you're right. So it says the bed in Kernodle's room was situated on the south wall of the bedroom, with the head of the bed appearing to be towards the west wall.
Yeah,
Go
this
ahead.
is the report that Amber was talking to me about, and I was trying to make sense of it with the autopsy stuff too.
Okay. It says I could see a male, later identified as Ethan, laying on his back in the bed with some type of blanket pulled over his midsection. I'm very curious to know if the blankets were on when the attack happened.
I am too, because this is very detailed, compared to now that we read the autopsy report, because I didn't
Yeah.
see that part first to know what clothing it was. I was trying to put together what she was saying, not knowing officially what was collected off their bodies,
Right. Okay.
and the positioning of Ethan, because it was I was trying to tell her that he was 6'4", so technically he in length is taller than what the
Then the
bed would
bed,
be.
for sure.
Yeah, because it says he's kind of hanging off the bed as we read through it.
Right. His head, right? Okay. So it says Ethan's body was at an angle on the bed so that his head was up against the south wall and his feet were hanging off the bed on the north side.
So the headboard was up to that against that south wall where we saw the blood dripping. And then his feet would be towards the front door.
The bed headboard was against that wall.
That's what I assume.
That it fit against that wall? In that out like that? Really?
I mean, yeah, because the longer wall where Xana was laying in the middle, kind of, that's where her little desk and stuff was.
But I thought the bed was facing.
No, he's angled on the bed, so that's what I'm confused by. I was describing his positioning. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, his position.
Right.
Okay.
That's what I was trying to figure out, the bed positioning, because it seemed weird how it was written that he was angled on the bed.
Well, okay. But are they still doing north being the front of the house?
Yes.
But then that would make his head hanging off on the south, not on that wall where the blood was dripping out. That would be east.
Yeah, so here, I'll show you. I'm gonna have to take a screenshot of this because it came from Sloopy's little slideshow.
Yeah, wait, did I? Kernodle laying on the floor. Kernodle was laying on her back with her feet facing. Oh, you're right. Wait, no. Yeah, wait a second. That would. that would make her feet facing east. No, it would be facing the door where they'd walk in. That doesn't make sense. Wait a second.
No, he said her head was pointing east.
No, look, her feet facing the east.
Like pointing towards the east.
Yeah, but they should be pointing towards the west. And her head towards the east.
Okay, that's interesting. Huh.
I'm a bit confused right now. Okay. All right, so Ethan was at an angle on the bed so that his head was up against the south wall and his feet were hanging off the bed on the north side. I could not clearly see the wounds to Chapin's head and neck area, but could see a very large amount of blood on the bed, as well as what appeared to be blood spatter on the wall next to Chapin's head and neck. I also noticed 2 large cuts to the back of Chapin's legs. There it is. The wounds appeared to be deep into the tissue, but were difficult to see due to Ethan's body position. So I don't know if he had the blankets on or if Bryan threw the blanket over him once he was done. That's a great point, Angel. 2 large cuts on the back of Ethan's legs, but he was laying with his face up. What? How?
I feel like I want to draw this out. Like I want to go back to all of them and draw it out, you know?
But either way, how were they to the back of his legs if he was face up?
If his body was twisted, maybe.
Okay.
I think positioning is everything. We might need to go back to some of those other reports where they were talking about supine, opine, you know?
Yeah, they said they were both supine. That's why I'm very confused right now.
About why they'd be on the back of his legs.
Yes, because especially up until now, we thought they most likely attacked Ethan when he was still asleep. I don't know how that would. I could account the other injuries and hanging off, not the back of his legs, though.
Well, and what I understood was that like, I can't remember what report it was, but like when they walked in, they couldn't see some of Ethan's injuries as readily. Like I took it as he was like facing that south wall. Yeah. Like the injury to the neck, you know? Because that's where the blood would go down.
Yeah.
So what if Xana's bed is to the headboard is on the south wall?
That's what I thought.
Yeah. So if it's on that south wall, and maybe Ethan's just laying across the bed, like you know how you kind of fall into bed diagonal.
We're gonna have to sketch this out privately.
I know.
Figure it out.
I know. It's really bothering me now after we've like read so many of these.
Unless the cuts to the leg came first and he flipped over.
Oh my God, that would be awful.
That's the only sense I can make of it. Unless, like, you know, I take more time and try to understand it differently, but that's the only thing I could understand. Maybe he was face down, legs exposed, and that went first to maybe disable him.
Oh.
Can't get up, you know what I mean?
Interesting theory.
Yeah. I then followed Officer Smith upstairs to the 3rd floor of the residence. The 3rd floor consisted of 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. The bedroom on the west side of the floor was later determined to be Kaylee's. This room appeared neat and picked up. The only thing of note was the sheets on the bed were pulled back in a manner which suggested someone had been laying in the bed and then gotten out of it. Officer Smith then pointed out a small bathroom on the east side of the third floor. This bathroom shared a wall with Madison's bedroom, which was situated on the southeast corner of the third floor. As I entered this bedroom, I could see two females in the single bed in the room. The bed was situated along the north wall. See, they're calling that the north wall. So, nope, we have it backwards. The north wouldn't be, it would be true north. Her bed wasn't situated on the north wall, according to the north being the front of the house.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was on the north wall, technically. That's the north of the direction once you're in that room. Remember, I don't think it's saying the headboard, but the bed is up against the north wall. It's up against
We're gonna have to
the north. It's in the corner of northeast.
Okay, we're gonna have to sketch it. We're gonna have to sketch it because this is
Because Kaylee's gonna be on the north side and then Maddie's gonna be on the south side. So Kaylee's closest to the wall, the north wall. You know what I mean?
okay.
So her headboard technically would have been against the east.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
That's what I'm trying to say. But the bed
No.
is up against the north, meaning like, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Northeast.
hold
The
on.
bed
Oh my
touches
God.
two walls.
I'm gonna have to sketch this. I have to sketch this because it's gonna confuse the hell out of me. There's too many floors, too many directions. Good night, Justin.
In the pictures that we used to use, they had the bed on the correct walls. It's the northeast walls that the bed was up against. Because remember when you walk into Maddie's room, you're right at the foot of the bed.
Yes, I know. And you see the
And then
her
when you're walking
face
into
in the window.
yeah, when you're walking into Maddie's room, you're walking south.
Okay. The back of the house.
Right. So it's south when you're walking in. So west would be on your
So
right,
north,
east
yeah.
on your left. And then the north, which was like the longer side of the bed, was up against that wall.
It was north wall. Okay.
Yeah, that's why it's like northeast. It's kind of weird because you're actually thinking when you're thinking the north door, you're maybe thinking, well, the bathroom's right there, you know?
I'm a visual person. I'm really struggling now to keep all of it in my head like without seeing it.
Why don't I make us a little, like, there's those
Yes,
3D
Samantha.
things that I make us like a northeast south little compass we could put up on the screen with this.
Yeah, that would be wonderful.
I feel you too. I'm trying to digest it and take it in. It's like, wait, is that what we've been told? Or
Yeah, I just basically need the 3-4 floor plans with the compass, and then I could, it makes sense to me, but it's when there's so many rooms and it's different floors and every room is in a different position type of, it's like, oh my God.
And not all the floors are on top of each other symmetrically. It's stacked.
It's like a Lego block. Okay.
Because I actually thought for the longest time Dylan's room was underneath Maddie's. I didn't realize till going over these documents she was actually underneath Kaylee's
room. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll make that for us for next time.
Yeah. Okay. Wonderful. Okay. So the bed was situated along the north wall of the bedroom, and both females, later identified as Mogen and Goncalves, were lying on their backs with their head towards the... See, but if it's towards the east, that means their heads were essentially up, Shay.
Their heads may have been turned up. And I think when they said Xana's feet were towards the east, that means when you walk in Xana's room, you see her feet first.
That's what we've known to be true. Okay. Feet first, then the head. Okay. Right. So this is why it gets a little bit confusing here.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. But why would their heads be pointing up towards the east?
Maybe unless it just means that way.
Up. Unless it just means up. Like I don't know.
He could have positioned them that way. It could be some staging. We don't know.
That would be horrible. Okay.
Absolutely horrible.
Sorry, my brain's just trying to process all of this. I'm starting to get like information overload a bit. So their heads were towards the east and their feet towards the west. Okay. So no, all right. It's just positional. Head towards east, feet towards the west, which was also
Right.
the direction of the only door into the room. Right. Okay. So both Goncalves and Mogen had numerous visible stab wounds and were covered in a significant amount of blood. I also later noticed what appeared to be a tan leather knife sheath laying on the bed next to Mogen's right side when viewed from the door. I remained in the room for a moment and then proceeded back outside. I remained on scene and conducted several more walkthroughs of the scene with ISP forensic team, Lada County coroner, and the Lada County prosecutor. Upon receipt of the search warrant prepared for Officer Nunez, the ISP forensic team, led by Detective Sergeant Darren Gilbertson, processed the scene and collected an initial 56 pieces of evidence. The ISP team turned these items over to me that evening, and I transported them back to MPD temporary evidence storage. On the morning of the 14th, I booked the items into MPD evidence with the help of evidence custodian TS. All right. I just need to take the 3 basic floor layouts empty and just recreate this with you because it won't be hard, just very simple visual.
Yeah.
But I need to see it for my brain to then move on to the injuries and understand it.
Yeah, that's why I was like thinking maybe not that we have to recap to the audience the 1 through 50 documents, but if we could just maybe create a diagram to position
Yeah.
ourselves, it'll help us going forward.
Yeah, we could just have a tentative one for tomorrow, like, nothing special, but at least something to pull up visually so we could get an understanding. Because I know a lot of people are visual learners like I am, and you have to see it to understand. It gets very confusing.
It does. And to be honest, depending on how you've seen pictures of the house, I know some people thought that the house, like where Maddie's room was like the north side, like you're like depending on how they're showing it, different ways in media.
And you know what is really annoying? They keep taking down the virtual. Tour, Shay. It's very annoying.
Yeah, I really liked that one.
Okay. So ground level, Bethany's room. Okay. Ground level, second floor. So the head of Xana's bed is along this wall with the foot being towards the front of the house. Correct?
Say that again. Xana's what?
The head of Xana's bed would be along this wall, south, with the foot of the bed being towards the north.
So what I've seen from pictures online, and I can't verify it, I think they're thinking the headboard is on the east side.
So you're saying the bed fit this way, long ways this way?
That's what I've seen, and I can't verify it. I want to figure that out. But then I've also seen where people put the headboard on the south.
We need to know if they're going by true north or north of the house. We need to know this.
So true north is gonna be the front door on the bottom floor.
Okay, so then that works.
So that would be the staircase.
Yeah.
And then
So that would be the south wall then.
yeah.
And this would be
So when we were seeing the blood dripping, it was coming out of the south, that
west.
little south wall.
No.
Yeah. What was it?
This is why we need a compass on the screen. Okay, so if this wall is south, right?
Mm-hmm.
This wall would be west, north, east.
Yes.
So it would be this wall that the blood was coming, which would be west.
But see, there's that little inlet of the bedroom between the kitchen that's an outside area, and I thought that's where the blood was. What, am I wrong?
Hold on. Right here to the right.
Because it was on the,
floor.
no, it wasn't on the side, I thought it was on the back.
Oh, in this cove?
Yeah, like, so down below there, like.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
It comes down there. That's where the blood was flowing.
I gotcha. Okay. That would make more sense. I'm trying to pull up.
I have something that may help. I'm just gonna borrow it real quick. Here. I don't know if you want to. I don't think if you want to show it, you can. I know it doesn't have like the full like floor plan, but just like directional wise, I know like Grizzly used a picture of the home to kind of show.
Okay, hold on.
I watched on like one of her videos, but it's not. I don't think it's going to be like the 3D floor layout just yet, like we're looking for. But I can work on that. It might make it a little bit easier. But yeah, I think we could just make something. Be easy peasy. Yeah.
Okay. So north up there now, because now even though that's so big, that's much bigger than I expected.
You need to flip it up. You need to flip it upside down.
So much bigger than I expected. You can't even see the north or south. Hold on.
And that's not even the right directions. Oh my God. What am I going to do with
for
you?
that. Hold on. Hold on. So dramatic. I'm like, here, this will be so much easier. No, hold on. This one will. I got this one though. Hold on.
I cannot with you.
I got a better one. Hold on. I got it. I'll be right back.
Okay, you do that. Oh my gosh. This is too funny. Oh, I just thought of something. I bet you could just go.
Okay. Even though honestly it would have been smarter to flip the floor plan, but I don't want to confuse everyone that much. Okay. So when you look at it like this, the bed was up against Listen, we'll make the good ones later for tomorrow's live. This will have to do. Okay. I can't flip the letterings and everything right now. You get the point. It's just opposite. It's upside down. Okay. But the headboard would be on the south wall, feet facing north. So now when I go back to that report, it said he was on an angle so that his head was up against the south wall and his feet were hanging off the bed on the north side. So normal, but just on an angle with his head to the right between the mattress and the wall, or is it up above? Did she have a headboard?
Yeah, I think she did. And I think, what are they trying to say? It's on the south wall.
So the bed probably pushed out from against the south wall. And unfortunately, it was him hanging over that contributed to the outside.
Yeah. Asget has the headboard up against the south wall.
Okay.
And that's the way she has it.
Okay. We're gonna get the right layouts. Okay, guys, just give us to tomorrow night. So this is the 3rd floor, and Maddie's bedroom is bedroom 5, guys. So, but see, that wouldn't. Okay, hold on. Let me go back to the report. Situated on the southeast corner of the 3rd floor, her bed. Southeast, yes. I guess no, but Shay, would it be the southeast or would it be the northeast? That's what's confusing the hell out of me. Would it not be the northeast of the room?
Of whose room?
Maddie's.
Yeah, they said the north. You walk in, like you're walking to her room going south, and the bed is up against the north wall, and it's also against the east wall. So she has her bed pushed in a corner.
Situated along the 4th wall. Hold on, I have to flip screens. Okay, north wall, yes.
North in the wall. East wall. So her headboard is on the east wall.
Hold on. North wall of the bedroom. Where did it say? Okay, they were laying on their backs with their heads towards the east, east, and then feet towards the west. Okay, and then the bedroom was just situated in the southeast corner of the 3rd floor. Okay, of the 3rd floor. I got it. Okay, nope, now I understand. I got it. Just took a couple of flipping back and forth.
Okay.
Yeah, I need to make the layouts and then position the bodies, like not, I'm talking about like just little whatever, but in the placement that it says.
Mm-hmm.
I need to see it visually. Yes, Harlot. Thank you. Okay. I have so many thoughts right now.
Your mind's going.
I can't. Yeah, I have a bit of information overload right now.
Well, let's wrap it up tonight. We can come back fresh tomorrow.
But like now, I need to see it now. You know what I mean? Like my brain's gonna be.
I bet you Gray's updated one of his videos or something.
Yeah. I don't know. All right. So we have the next folder, which are reports. Well, they would be 50 to 100, but they'll be 51 to 100 because we went into that first report. And we'll pick this up tomorrow. But, oh no, I suck J13 at directions, period. North is whichever way I'm facing. That's why I have to do this upside down pentagram looking crap just for my brain to be like, huh, but it's a little deceptive when it's like, oh, it's it's facing this way, it's doing that. I don't know. I'm a little thrown off with the leg injuries unless he started on his stomach, and that would be very I can't make sense otherwise, with at least with the information that we have right now.
I don't know. I want to be able to draw it out too. And I want to go back through like some of those first reports and make sure I'm making sense of it properly.
Yeah. It is, Harlot. It is. All right. Well, we will have visual aids tomorrow. I promise. I'll probably just work on it tonight because my brain kind of needs to see it now. But we will pick up tomorrow night. It'll be open. It's not going to be members, obviously. So We will be on tomorrow night, somewhere around the same time. Obviously, whatever works for you, Shay. You just let me know.
Yeah, whatever.
And yes, I'm excited. Did you say that you think there was a lot in the second one?
There's a lot of different kind of information that comes out in the second grouping, I recall. Just, there's like Bethany's interviews and things like that.
I need to know more about this firecracker. I kind of have to think what I'm going to send you all home with assignments. Like I want you guys to really come back tomorrow with some good theories about this flash and bang firecracker situation. I want to hear some good theories. That's your guys' job as the subs. And so come back tomorrow with some working theories of what that could have been.
Oh, I'm
I
curious
need
what
to
people
know.
think.
Yeah, I'm curious to know what you guys think, and I need some perspective outside of my own, so I'm just saying, I want to hear everyone. Yes, Miss Jade. But I still had a picture while they're moving inside that. Yeah, yes, Harlot. Like, I don't know. It gets a bit confusing for me. It's homework, C. Carter, but it should be something you're pondering already. So we'll reconvene tomorrow. We'll have visual aids, and you guys come back with your homework assignments and get me some good working theories so we could kind of brainstorm what's going on here.
All right, deal. Good night. Thanks for having me.
Good night. Love you. We will see you guys tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.